But yeah. Yep, my account is gone. I'm nuked. I'm nuked. It was fun while it lasted. It's fun while it lasted. It was fun while it lasted, folks. Fun while it lasted. So yes, I guess the new updates in the saga of all that shit is that we just got nuked from Twitter, bitches. We're gone. So yes, I am good there, Miss Pixel or whatever. It's all right. It's Shay Apinse. Yes, Christina, my account is gone. It is gone. Yeah, it is gone. And then must be nice no work. Actually, I should be working right now, but my back really hurts right now, so I'm having trouble walking, so I'm gonna take the day off and try to figure that out. But yes, that is right, Suzanne E. We got a nuked again in the Twitter biome. Hello to this person right here, Bell Bro. We support you. You've done great work. Well, now all that work once again is gone. It's once again gone. It's once again gone. And yeah, Sean, I don't know exactly how. I have an idea as to how this all happened and went down or whatever. We'll have to get into that at least. And yeah, dude, karma plays the long game. Validation will prevail. I know it's like that QAnon long game, except for this time we lost a pretty big account. There was a lot of work that we put in, and now it's all gone. It's all fucking gone. So yeah, just make sure you thumbs up the video. Make sure you try to share this out there, because obviously I can't, so most people are just finding out. I just emailed Brittany Venti about that through her website, and she got it apparently because she was like, yeah, Defango just said he got nuked. Nuked. Can you hear this? Can you hear it? Somebody, anybody, can you guys hear it? I just was wondering. I don't know if I set that out. So yeah, it was probably my last tweet. So let me pull this up for you guys because my account is now suspended or whatever, but I can show you it wasn't exactly my last tweet, but it was probably this tweet right here. Somebody basically one of the last thing I was able to put up when I was in the zone was, lol, Twitter deleted my interview with Gabe Hoffman talking about the Eliza Bleu situation. And that's true. The broadcast just shows the broadcast is ended. It usually has a live stream recording for the Twitter, and it looks like Twitter basically deleted that shit. Like they didn't even let it save. And somebody mentioned that Vijaya Gade was never this bad. And I said, yeah, Eliza Irwin took censorship, nepotism, and misrepresentation to a level Vijaya would have only dreamed of, which is essentially 100% fact at this point. But it looks like this is probably what ended up getting us nuked from Twitter. Finally, Eliza Irwin had enough, and she decided to censor my whole account. Like, I didn't even get a chance to delete anything or anything like that. Just kaboom, permanently suspended. Yes, we had determined your account broke the rules at this hashtag, this little thing right here. Your account is in permanently read-only mode. So, you won't be able to pull up my account online or anything like that, like at all. So all the Twitter threads and everything that got posted, it's all gone, folks. It's all gone. This is the Streisand effect in plain view for all of us to see. And I don't really think that there's any way that anybody could misrepresent, the amount of censorship that's actually happening right here, because they were telling us that Twitter was going to be different, right? They were saying that, free speech is cool. Here's me exhibiting free speech and getting censored for it. Not cool, man. Not cool. And you look at trust and safety, it's this bitch right here, Ella G. Irwin's behind it. She's the one that decided, and she's like, yeah, you could go cry somewhere else because I'm in control. So now we're all going to be focusing on making sure that this bitch loses her fucking job, because what's going to that's what's going to make me happy. When somebody this stupid and this bad for the company is around, that's why you initially and originally would even try to get somebody fired. So, like, there's a strong possibility in the next 2 weeks that this lady's no longer going to be working for Twitter. And I think that the fact that they actually decided to finally censor me after over a month and a half, almost over a month of this shit being around, now all of a sudden, like, oh, it's too much. He broke the rules. What fucking rules did I break? What rules did I break, huh? You guys didn't even tell me when you deleted my tweets what rules I broke. I didn't break any rules. It's very clear I didn't break any rules. I just crossed the wrong people. I crossed Ella G. Irwin and Eliza Bleu, and I got censored for it. For doing what? Simply asking questions based on stories that people themselves put out of their own fucking mouth? It's shitty, dude. This is shitty. This is a San Francisco treat right here. This is something that I don't even think anybody know about any of that stuff. So it's like, I don't have a Twitter account anymore. I can't contact anybody. The only person I have contact with that actually I think gave me their phone number or whatever was a reporter over at Red State, and then another couple other reporters, because they all fucking knew I was going to get nuked here pretty soon, because we obviously know, I've been saying for the last couple of days that, oh, I feel impending doom incoming. And they never pull this shit on the weekends, right? They always do it on Monday, right? So she stepped into the office, made the decision to get rid of my account, and she's probably feeling really fucking good about herself, not realizing that she's probably not going to have a job here pretty soon. And it's not because I'm going to do anything about it. Oh no, it's going to be fucking Elon that's going to have to do something about this shit, because they literally just ruined any fucking credibility that they had in their censorship. Oh, we're pro free speech bullshit. Yeah, it ain't real, dog. It ain't fucking happening. It's not a real thing whatsoever. Either nothing. So the head of trust and safety that's actually out there, it's kind of funny, I have an article written about me in the Daily Beast. This bitch has an article written about her in the Daily Beast, right? This is a place that we could actually go and take a look at, and it's just kind of ironic, right? And yes, Cardis Carleth, I am now like Alex Jones. Yep. And, now Ella is trafficking me. She silenced my voice of being trafficked, and now I'm not able to even speak up because, no, you can't cross our people. You can't be against our folks. But yes, before Elon Musk made it one of his most powerful lieutenants at Twitter, Ella Irwin spent 4 years at Amazon, where she intensely inspired both respect and terror. Pressure was ceaseless. Her emails landed at all hours, and she made me cry in my first weeks as a former employee. It all wasn't Irwin. Under Bezos, Amazon's culture was notoriously brutal, and her personality seemed like an ideal fit. I have not had a director as smart or as cutthroat as Ella, recalled one employee. She was praised for her attention to detail. I have never learned more than I think sometimes she just missed the human piece on how to treat people. Yeah. Now, after a stint at the tech firm Twilio, where she unceremoniously was asked to leave, Irwin was brought into the ethos at Twitter, where Elon Musk is employing even harsher tactics to turn the platform around. Yes, he brought in Ella Irwin to turn the platform around so that it was nothing like it used to be before. And now we're starting to see that the platform itself is exactly like what we should have seen before. And yes, I do know that Brittany Venti is live right now with what's it called, Nerdrotic. Unfortunately, I wasn't invited to that stream to talk about any of this stuff. And I don't really think that they care too much about me getting censored because, now we're just going to have to kind of like move on forward into the other thing. But that is, what I was showing you, at least when we first started the stream, that yes, in fact, I was paying attention to that. It's right here. I was watching it and I could tell that there's 7 Italian girls in bagos. So, like people are going to be talking about it. They mentioned something about it, but there's really, what's it going to do for me at this particular juncture and point? I don't know. Can you guys hear the audio when I turn it on? Like I'm going to turn it on. Can you hear it? Can you hear it? Oh, you can't hear it. Okay. Beep 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 beep. Yeah, they did mention it when it first came on. Like people have been talking about it in the chat or whatever.
For that, I forgot it already.
You did.
They mentioned it earlier. Wow,
take it off for stupid reasons, and it just feels like Twitter from 5 months ago already again.
Yeah, exactly. I'm still locked out of my account. I saw Quartering is able to access the account. I didn't have time to get in a call with him before I hopped on here, but I think
I'm drinking a venti
tweets because my account's still locked. So, I'm gonna call him after this and see what's up with that because I'm not. But he posted a update thread. He like came back and chose violence. It's just like
chose violence.
Long, okay. Yeah. Pull it up. It's like a long, in-depth.
I'm gonna have to check that out.
Thread. He came to kill.
Excellent. I like that. Oh wait, why not? At this point, it's like I got my hopes up a little bit about Twitter, but
dude, what the fuck is going on with this? Trying to share the audio and shit, and it's like I don't know. It's like fucking chunking in a weird way. Like, what is going on with YouTube right now? I'm having some trouble with it. Maybe it's because it's in 1080p. Yeah, danger. So it's good that they're talking about this stuff on Nerdrotic. They've literally, had to see what the hell has actually happened out there. And then thanks to Grifty for the $2 through Super Chat saying, getting the word out about your suspension. I appreciate that. We're definitely going to need it out there. But that basically takes me off of that takes me and all of my information off of the fucking table, which is insane. In a lot of ways, and it pisses me off. And to unknown uncertain terms, it is probably one of the most upsetting turns of events that I've had to actually deal with in this situation. I never thought that this was actually going to be happening to that at all. And you know what, V, I do see that you want an Irish coffee. I don't actually drink anymore though, so I stopped drinking a long time ago, although this would be a situation where I would be like, yeah, I guess I could actually have a beer or something in this particular realm or whatever. I feel like that could actually possibly be all right for me. I mean, it's strange though, like coming back into this, we can actually show you that there are other things that we have noticed that was happening. I think the last like big thing that came up from this entire thing is probably going to be the Lotus Eaters podcast right here. They actually went through and were going through my thread on their show, which is pretty big because that's another massive YouTube channel that is probably going to have to come back and drop another update to say, hey, we were just looking at this. And as we were looking at this on the Lotus Eaters podcast, they fucking took the shit down. So they literally had to switch over to the Threader app, like archive of it while they were going through it because my account went down in the middle of the whole thing, which is pretty fucking amazing if you ask me. And it gets even bigger because I guess people are telling me that Jeremy from the Quartering actually also has now put together a thread on this, although I don't know if I'll be able to look at it. I'm going to go try to look at it anyway on the Quartering. Yeah, let's go look at the Quartering's thread. Probably won't have to worry about too much audio on it, but I'm going to reset it anyway so that I have it. So, here's the Quartering's actual here's the Quartering, but yeah, about an hour ago, it looks like he did a multi-part series. As to celebrate my return, I announced the new installment of the Eliza Bleu Files, a multi-part series. Part 1, how Cult Goblin infiltrated Twitter trust and safety with lies to ban their critics. So, yeah, I'm expecting the fact that I got banned for kind of calling out L&G Irwin directly. It seems like, some shit's going to be happening. And yes, 1 trillion Dick 77. She is right, or whatever. She is right. She is right. So just think about that. Like, a lot of people have been wanting to do this, and now Jeremy from the Quartering an hour ago decided that he was going to do a whole new thread. Probably not even going to mention the fact that, we got banned, but now Jeremy's getting into the action. It's kind of interesting to see, what's happening. I just want to point out that, scrolling through this entire thread, you can see that looks like they kind of missed a few things or whatever. And, hopefully he gets in and starts talking about the censorship. But this is kind of what I was getting at, like, earlier to you guys about how, like, this online situation works in a lot of ways is like, once the big boys get into there, you'll slowly be phased out rather quickly. So my phasing out is now going to accelerate to a level unseen before, because, hey, my shit's gone. Now everybody else can just go back up, repost the shit, and they're probably going to get at least another month or two out of this whole entire situation. So there's not really much I can do in the war anymore other than just update people on what's happening right now. But it's like, dude, are we going to have to make another fucking Twitter account? Right? Are we going to have to make another fucking Twitter account? Because that's what it seems like. We're going to have to make another one. But, at this point, permanently suspended. Oh, God. I've seen that before. They're not going to give me back the Defango account. They're definitely not going to be giving me back the Manuel Defango account, and it's all because good old L&G Irwin decided that, you know what, you're just not able to get it. And, thanks to Flank Pellegrino, $4.99 through Super Chat, you need to stop trafficking Eliza on Twitter. Yep. Well, I have been stopped from trafficking Eliza on Twitter. And guess what? All it took was them to suspend my account. They didn't take the same actions that they took with everybody else, making you delete tweets, giving you a 7-day, giving you a 12-day or 12-hour, giving you a 3-day, 7-day, whatever. No, they went straight to fucking gone with me, which is, not actually that surprising for me. That's actually not that surprising. That happens to me quite a bit, actually. It's whatever, though. I guess it's understanding the people that you're actually up against and then realizing that those people really just insanely don't give a shit about anything. And then their reasoning, Grifty, for $2 through Super Chat, yeah, we didn't get any reasoning. They just said, we reviewed your account and we permanently suspended you. Didn't even get an email about why I got suspended or anything. It was just, I tweeted at L&G Irwin about an hour and a half ago, and bye. So either A, somebody filled out a government form, or B, somebody that works for Twitter just went, boop, okay, we're done with you. And I mean, it's pretty clear what happened here, like it's pretty fucking clear that this whole thing came straight through from this little gem right here, which was basically me calling out L&G Irwin, saying, hey, yeah, L&G Irwin took censorship, nepotism, and misrepresentation to a level Vijaya Gade could only have ever dreamed of. And literally, I made that tweet right here at 9:43 a.m. and within 15 minutes, probably, I was gone. So there's really no way that anybody could say that I didn't get directly fucking nuked from Twitter because of this lady. And even more so, if I scroll back up, you can see I was still tweeting after that. Like, I was still tweeting after that, dog. I was still tweeting after that. And then, yeah, I think the last tweet that I actually made right here was talking about me getting a shout out from the Lotus Eaters. So it's like, that was the last tweet that I was able to make. And then I got nuked. I was gone. It was all over. And hey, no worries how it would work. If you're late 20 minutes behind, just fast forward to the fucking beginning, because we're going to have to repeat ourselves like 40,000 times again. So honestly, I would say this is the time for people to start thinking about locking down their accounts and shit like that and making really wise choices about how they proceed next. I mean, sure, you guys could get like super hyphy like Jeremy from the Quartering or whatever if you want, but like, I don't see how. I mean, that's basically just going to accelerate this. So yes, maybe you want to do that. Maybe you want to get suspended from Twitter again, and that's totally on you. Or whatever. That's totally on you, my friends. That's totally on you. So I guess I have to like think about what the future is going to hold for me or anyone else. But I already knew that this shit was going to be coming down the pipeline. Like, obviously, like, I'm not a complete moron or anything like that. And everything has already been saved anyway. Like, it was saved before I even posted the thread, you fucking pinecones. Why would you think that I didn't do that? What, do you think you're smarter than me in some way, shape, or form? Shame on you, motherfuckers. Shame on you for thinking that. Sorry, I'm just joking with you, but that's like, duh, of course we saved all that shit in like a bunch of different other fucking places before we even posted it on Twitter. What do you think? This is my first fucking rodeo, bro? You think this is my first rodeo? Are you kidding? Are you fucking kidding me? God. Sometimes. That's okay. And then we got something from CJ. Super chat for $5. Sorry you got your Twitter canceled right when your channel is starting to blow up. You did nothing but folks post facts. Good luck, man. Yep, that's right. That's right. All I've done is just post facts and do what is right. And boom. So like, honestly, like, we got suspended because we mentioned Ella Roth, that she said that she was misrepresenting. She was basically, and I was actually being pretty generous in what I was saying, to be perfectly frank. Like, I wasn't being a complete dickhole or anything like that. I was just being like, yeah, she's taking censorship to another level, a level that we've never even fucking seen before. I mean, I don't know how somebody could disagree with my perception on that reality, because that is what's happening, right? Like, they're not only censoring the ability to watch links from YouTube on Twitter, they're blackholing hashtags, they're blackholing posts, they're deleting posts, they're making people delete posts for insane reasons that never even worked from before. And it's just like, it's a double, triple down type of situation, to the point where now we're going to watch the Quartering probably get nuked within the next couple of, hours or whatever over this particular situation. But hey, maybe he won't. Maybe because he didn't, reach out to Ella Irwin and say some truthful ass shit, maybe he won't get nuked. But you know what? I definitely don't see this as rising to the level of harassment or anything, because it's the fucking truth. They censor me over saying that Ella G. Irwin has taken censorship to a level unseen before, and they just did it again. So it's like double, triple, quadruple down. Like, this lady shouldn't be working at any company, irregardless of what she thinks about herself or how good she thinks she is. She's obviously on the same level of garbage human being that we were dealing with Yoel Roth, only this time there's actually a massive amount of information out there that says that this bitch is like awful to the people that she's working for, and she's not the type. She's not going to be the one to fucking make Twitter go anywhere, because right now it almost seems very clear now that it's like all of this rampant censorship that's happening on Twitter right now that sucks is 100% because of this lady right here. So think about that. Like the next time you get nuked for something, it's not because of Elon Musk. It's because of Ella Irwin. And it's because Elon Musk just doesn't even seem to understand what's actually happening with this particular situation. I mean, it's crazy. In an email to the Daily Beast, I interface with many accounts over a single day, just basically scanning for user occurrence, not just to suspend people for misinformation or posting offensive tweets in the past. This is part of our work in implementing general amnesty reinstatements. Yeah, I'm really sure that that's exactly what's happening right now because I don't remember me doing anything wrong. What you say, Lily? Do you have an instant Defango? Yeah, I do. It's Manuel Defango. What was that? I think that's what it is. But yeah, I have an Instagram. It used to just be Defango, but now it's Manuel Defango. Manuel Defango. Manuel Defango. Yeah. They're just making everything worse, though. Like, that's what's happening right here. They've just made everything worse. It's another triple double down. And, oh, you'll hop on? Okay. Here, let me just send you an invite. Oh, wait. Let me invite up to 10 guests. Hey, Fair and Balance, I see you in the chat down over there. Yeah, so I do have an Insta. I don't know. Does Farron have an Instagram? Farron Balanced. Oh, yeah, it's got to be her right here. This has got to be her. Follow. Message. And then we'll just go right here. Boop. Oh, just leaked all my Instagram messages. My bad. There you go. So yeah, if you want to jump in and talk about it, that's fine. For sure. It's just super problematic, dude. Like they're talking about changing this fucking thing and they're talking about how this is a different situation and it's not. It's really not. Would you guys want to see my Instagram DMs real quick? Here, let's just discuss my Instagram DMs real quick. So this is Brittany Venti never replying back to me. Just pointed that out there. And then I don't even know who these people are. This is that one time that I had to message Libs at TikTok to unblock me because she blocked me for some reason, which made me feel really bad because I was like, what the fuck? Why did you block me, Libs at TikTok? I love you. And then, I was like, hey, I'm a big fan. I've been following your Twitter for a long time, but I got blocked for some reason. I hope we can get it figured out. And then she unblocked me. So, and then you can see that was on my old username, King Pirate or whatever. So, and then, this is my dad right here. It's my dad. It's my pops. These are my pops with the family. Look at my family. Look at all my family. Do I look like my dad? Do I look like my pops? And then that's Mayrie. That's his wife. It's my stepmom. Nice lady. Has debilitating diseases that prevent her from enjoying life to the fullest, but she still tries. But yeah. I'm a pretty much open book, my friends. And yeah, I do look just like my pops, but my brother looks even more like my dad than anybody else. Yeah, he looks more like... This is my brother right here. That's my brother, George. And then that's my dad. So, like, I do look like my dad, but my brother looks exactly like my dad. He looks exactly like my fucking dad. Like, they're pretty much identical at this point. Pretty much identical at this point, actually. Just, throwing that out there. So if you guys wanted to see something or whatever. So, I'm just kind of flabbergasted and shocked that, I got censored by this bitch or whatever. I mean, it's pretty easy to go back and look at, like how deep she is in this entire, like censorship soiree that we've been looking at. And, it's funny, Pixel, I actually do have a twin sister. So, like there is a twin in my family. I'll show you actually. You can see her right here. Actually, no, that's my niece. Wait. That's my twin sister right there. This is my twin sister. Bet you guys didn't know I had a twin sister. And then I have an older brother, and then I have a younger brother, and then this is her daughter, and this is her daughter's baby. Yeah. So she's a grandma. And yes, she is a lot prettier than me. She got all the looks, and she got all the looks in the babies, and I got all the brains. So, who really fucking lost there? Not me. Not me. Oh, and then you can see my owie. That's my grandma. That's my only grandma that's still alive right there. So there's my sister, her daughter, her other daughter, another one of her daughters. My sister's got like fucking. I have to count, actually. Hold on a second. I think she's got 7 kids. I could be wrong. It could be 8. Maybe it's 6. It's 6 to 8. I can never remember exactly. It's a lot. That's all I know is she's got a lot of kids. She had all the kids. I didn't have any kids. I had a kid almost one time, but it didn't happen. It was a miscarriage or whatever. So, yeah, she got a lot of fucking kids. My sister got a lot of kids, dog. You know what? There's 1,000 jokes I could say about closing legs and everything about that nature, and I don't even have to because it's just all like they're all from different dads too. I'm not even fucking around. They're all from different dads. There's one of them is African, one of them is Native American too. So like half of our nieces and nephews are Native Americans, part of the tribe and shit. So that's interesting. Not me. I'm totally not a Native American, but they're in my family or whatever. So yeah, we got a huge family. I got lots of nieces and nephews that be hanging out or whatever, except for I live completely in a different state than they do, and I only see them on the holidays. Yeah. I only see them on the holidays. And yes, Andre, anyone, we've seen the video where Eliza Cut says the N-word. That was like the first video I put in the thread just to like hit people with the N-word right in the beginning. Be like, this is the person that you're looking into. But thank you. Thank you. We appreciate that. We appreciate that. So it's like, shit, man, can't even do big Twitter spaces anymore. It's almost like as soon as what's his face, Nathan, because yesterday Nathan from Lift the Veil, you guys remember Nathan? You fucking remember Nathan, dog? Do you remember Nathan? Do you guys remember Nathan? I remember Nathan. I like Nathan. He didn't like me, and I think that he thinks that, he thinks very different things about me, but Nathan from over at Lift the Veil, me and him actually did do a pretty big censorship roundtable talk where a lot of people tuned in. And I set that up with him because I kind of already figured that I was about to be on the way out, and I wanted to be able to pass it off to somebody that I could trust to at least, be middle of the road on this thing, because obviously Nathan has been pretty middle of the road, but he's also had a lot of experience interviewing crazy motherfucking people on the internet, especially like SRA survivors and stuff like that. So Nathan is up there, and you know what, I get it. Christy is like, yeah, Nathan is iffy. Yeah, I know Nathan is iffy or whatever. I fucking know. I fucking know. I wonder if I can still see our DMs or whatever. Nope. Well, let me see him. But I got him hooked up with Chrissy Mayer, Farron. I mean, the Viva Frey and Umbrella guy both showed up to the conversation as well. So, honestly, I thought it was actually not a bad situation for us to, kind of have a situation about what's this right here. Oh, Defango, that's sweet. You being a twin, but that's a chore buying Christmas gifts for all your nieces and nephews. Yeah, actually it is. Except for I try to plan it out with my sister and figure out what she needs, because I don't want to like buy them stuff that they're gonna fight over shit or whatever. But I've been talking to her about getting them like tablets and like another TV and a PlayStation, stuff that they can actually use, stuff that they can actually use. And then, oh, what's up, Russell Dufresne? Nice to see you, bro. So I put Nathan in on this. I'm sure he's probably going to be doing like spaces and stuff coming up on this one, because you know how he is. As soon as he gets onto a situation, he's going to mad dog that shit because he wants to get them views, baby. So I'm expecting to see him probably start doing more uploads and live streams about this situation. But I don't know. I don't know how that's actually going to shake out. I'm just kind of like, shit, dude, I was expecting getting suspended. Like, let's be frank. I was expecting that I was going to get suspended. I just wasn't expecting it to happen this soon. I figured they would leave me around for a little while longer, but you know what? That's how it is. That's how it is. And then, what's up, Umbrella Guy? Banned. So jacked up, dude. Yes, sir. It is jacked up, dude. And then, yes, thank you for going and talking to Lift the Veil in his space yesterday. We definitely appreciate that shit for sure. Because, I mean, like, what are we supposed to do, dude? What are we supposed to do? What are we supposed to do? Oh, let me throw up his little thing. See, like, this is Umbrella Guy. You guys should go follow him on the Twitter or whatever. He's also another person that is talking about this and being impacted about that. Oh, shit. He actually did a breaking news. The first person to expose the Eliza Bleu has been fucking suspended, given a fucking permanent ban. Yeah. That's crazy how it is. And what's up, Janet Alvarez over there on Facebook? Oh, it's working on Facebook. That's good to know. I probably forgot to put a fucking title on that one, though. Oh, well. That we'll just have to figure that out. And yeah, I know, Jesse Joe. It's that Umbrella Guy. God damn, son. Damn. What is this right here? This is cool. Yeah. So, I mean, what are we going to do? I can't find the link in my Instagram. Did I send it to the wrong Instagram? Hold on. You could just email me at like defango@gmail.com. That's me. Notifications. Fair and Balanced started following you. Wait. The fuck? Just got a message. Let me try one more time. Beep. And then invite guest. Copy the little thingy over. Send. Do you see it now? Not. Is there like an email on here? No. Oh yeah, you guys can follow me. Yeah, dude, we're going to war, dog. You are correct. I'm going to war. I don't know how I'm going to war, but I'm going to war. I mean, if I have to make another Twitter account, I will, but that means that I'm probably going to have to go buy another cell phone, and I can't afford that shit. Fuck. Wait. Oh, this is one of those fun times that you can actually leak some shit to you. Cell phone. Wait. Actually, no, like $50 maybe. Nah, you could get this right here. Just get this little A3 piece of shit. Oh, he really needs the phone number anyway. So yeah, just go get a State Truck for him for $30, and they can make another Twitter account. Yeah, that's actually how easy it is. So like, if you ever get suspended from Twitter, and like, there's a couple of things that you need to understand. So like, if you get suspended from Twitter on the web browser, you have to log out, right? If you try to log in with another account that still has the cookie on it, that new account will get banned. If the account is connected to the same phone number and shit, the account is going to get banned. No Doc Rocks. You cannot use a Google Voice number. Google Voice numbers do not work for signing up on Twitter accounts anymore. That just won't work. You just email me. You can't find it. What the fuck? I just messaged it to you. Right here. Beep. Beep. There we go. Reply, link, send. There you go. Fair and Balanced. Oh! Your email is fair. Yeah, I should have known that. Actually, should have known that. What's this right here? Shuggy Show, $2. So sorry. Thank you for being nice to me, Defango. Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. It's fine. You're all worried about getting like messed up, and you don't have to worry about that shit. They're not gonna do anything to you. They're not gonna do anything to you. Like, well, they're gonna ask, hey, could you send us the email? They're gonna ask the same thing that the quartering asked. They're just gonna be like, okay, you person with the cow wearing a wig and sunglasses. So I don't know if that's actually gonna work or whatever. But yeah, if you want a link or whatever, you all can just email me, defango@gmail.com. I will pull you into this if you would like to be in on it. And then, oh, here we go. Fair balance. Poof. There we go. Hi, Farron. Oh, I think you're muted.
As always.
Yeah,
How's it feel to be banned? How's it feel to be banned, man?
It's the same. It's this feeling that I keep getting like over and over again. I feel like the last time I had this feeling was sometime in September of 2021. It was a good time. It was a good run. It was a good run this time.
So walk through like what happened. Like you get an email. Like what happened?
Oh, I didn't even get an email. I checked my email associated to it, Project Properness. So like they didn't send me an email or anything. Here, I'll pull it up right here. When we look at it, actually, the last thing that I think what got me was this right here. So like I said, yeah, Elegy Irwin took censorship, nepotism, and misrepresentation to a level of vagina God he could only have dreamed of. So I said that to her.
That's true. That is true.
But it's super true, you know, like that's all I had said. Like I just said that in that thread, and then I went back about my business posting stuff. And I think the last thing I was able to post was like a shout out to the Lotus Eaters podcast for like bringing this up on their
Yeah, I saw
show.
That. Holy shit, right?
Yeah, and the thing is like I'm almost kind of thinking that in the middle of something over here, they were talking about it. Like they were talking about it on here, and then they, instead of using my Twitter account, they were actually just using the like Threader app version of the thread, because I think maybe they saw that it was already censored while they were trying to go through this. Because I mean, they posted this today, just like a few hours ago. I just don't know if they actually do their show live or not. So, oh, it says live, so maybe it was live.
Oh, but it's 1 p.m. UK time. They're 5 hours ahead.
Okay, so that was probably just before that. So
that
was
like
the last thing I saw.
Basically. Yeah, so it was our 8 a.m. here. Yeah, Eastern
so like
time.
Okay, cool. So like, I don't know. I was just like, dang, the last thing I got to post was, a little shout out to them. I don't even know if I got the right account. Oh, I did.
I'm not going to lie too. I know at least one of those guys is friends with George Galloway, and I was on with George Galloway yesterday. So part of me is thinking, like, did they see that and maybe look into it? Or it also could be the internet too. You know, I'm not gonna say like, oh, they got it from me. But I'm wondering though if maybe they were watching and then looked into this and saw it. I don't know. But the fact though that it's been so great that people have threads on it to where it like explains it, especially like yours, where people are just able to go right through it. It's interesting.
It's interesting. TAM, I am permanently suspended, which is banned. Permanently suspended. But this, to be real, I've been permanently suspended more times than I can count. Because ever since my Defango account got suspended, I would make a new account, and then like 6 months would go by, and then I have to make another one, and it's just been this vicious cycle. So, you know, I don't agree with the Twitter censorship. I didn't agree with the Twitter censorship under the old guard. So, you know, now that it is with the new guard, this is how it's happening. You know, my immediate thought is to just, you know, like make another account or pull up one of my alts or whatever and go to it. But from my experience, I need to, you know, cool it off, sign out all of my devices, clear all of my cookies and stuff before I even attempt to do that. Because if not, they can see inside of their little like thing anytime any account has been logged in on the same like type of browser with the same type of cookies. So like I have to be very careful about like what I'm going to do in the future with it. Cause it will, you know, this is what started my, my endeavors into changing my names into a bunch of stuff like the Elusive Man and Kang Pirate and all this stuff, just because, you know, my Twitter account be like, okay, this is my new Twitter account, guys. We're just going to put this name in here.
So how would you say you have as many names as Eliza Bleu or no?
Yeah, almost.
Oh, okay.
Well, we have Defango.
We have something in common.
Yeah, Elusive Man. We had Kang Pirate. There was Merlin Defango, which is pretty much the same. And then there was another one that I was using for a while. Oh, Citizen Zone. But that was more or less because I was trying to not get a channel deleted by YouTube. So I just changed the name of the channel to Citizen Zone, and then I did it on Twitter too. So it's like, if you've ever looked at my Twitter accounts, anytime I've changed my name on YouTube, it's usually because there's been some kind of Twitter ban that's been associated to it. So I try to keep them together so people can kind of like find me, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing is you need to change your IP address is the thing. And I just did that. So like that means that I have to get a new modem for my like internet here, which is I could do that if I really wanted to, but I don't think I'm going to worry about it right now.
Yeah.
Like it's expensive.
But,
it's like another $200, man. I ain't got the money for that shit right now.
I'm just still like, here's the craziest part. Okay. Like, we started this a week ago where we all were talking about it. What was it? Not last Friday, but the Friday before that?
Yeah, like 2 weeks ago. At least 2 weeks ago, we got started on that. And then now this is how far it's gone in just a matter of 2 weeks. So I think that there could possibly be a lot more. We got a super chat for $4.99 from American Badger. Well, what do you guys please doing some digging into Cassandra Fairbanks' very shady history? I mean, if you really want us to, but I like Cassandra. And she's been through a lot in her life. Yeah. What do you think? Do you know who she is? You beefed
Tim
with her.
Tim Pool's producer. I don't know her personally, but I just didn't like the excuse of not having Brittany Venti on because he was able to move things around and get Crowder right away when all of the big stuff was happening with Crowder because it was, in the news and stuff. Yeah. And the fact that that now that Brittany is she's still banned. I'm wondering, did Jeremy say if he deleted the tweets in order to put out
the tweets?
Oh, he did.
He had to have.
But then he came back swinging with
he came back swinging.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'll give him that.
Well, yeah. I was kind of surprised when I saw that. Like, I was just like, wow, it's like he just redid the thread, but did he even know that I got banned? Like, it was some crazy stuff because here it is right here.
It was like not even an hour later that you got banned.
Yeah, like I got banned and he did I posted, like it was not even like he started posting his thread like 2 minutes after I had messaged or did that little tweet where I mentioned Ella Irwin. And then within an hour, I'm banned basically. So it wasn't even an hour. It was like 15 minutes. So now I'm just looking at this and saying, he's probably going to get hit too, maybe. Although he doesn't seem to directly like link or mention anybody. Oh, never mind. He's got Ella G. Irwin right there. So, yeah, I think that, if something's going to happen, it's probably going to happen out of this guy right here. Because, I mean, I don't have direct evidence as to what happened, but like I didn't get anything. It just went to permanently suspended immediately. No email, no 12-hour, no 7-day, nothing. Not even deleting stuff. They just nuked the entire thing. They just nuked the entire thing, which is crazy to me. I didn't think that it was going to get to that level, but apparently we are at that level. So now I'm just kind of wondering, is Quartering going to get suspended? Is he going to get banned over this stuff? Like if that happens, this is going to snowball into a huge thing, right? There's Chrissy. Daddy's back.
I mean, if he what was the excuse for them banning you?
They didn't give me one. But clearly their excuse for banning me is that I'm already permanently suspended. So like that's to me is probably why like Ella G. Irwin can see that I had just submitted a request to get reinstated under @Defango. They denied me. And then my account name is Manuel Defango. So it was probably pretty easy for her to be like, well, fuck this guy. I'm just going to get rid of him because, like their out is always going to be he's already been permanently suspended. And he just keeps coming back. He's like Hurt Beast.
Yeah, I was saying, just like Hurt Beast, he keeps coming back.
That's right.
mean,
That's exactly right. Oh wow, we got another super chat. Wait, this one's from my moderator CV. $49.99. Wow. We really need Elon to understand how he's losing blue checks. I just unsubscribed from 2 accounts, $22 a month. I'm gonna give it to Defango. Yeah, I would definitely appreciate any money that y'all would want to throw my way. But that would be me
but
grifting.
I'm gonna get half of it though, right?
Yeah, you want half of it? We can just throw half
Sure.
of it to you.
Yeah,
Do
I'll
what
give you my
do you want
Cash
me
App.
to? I got a Cash App you.
Yeah, we're gonna Cash App. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, you know what made me laugh about that thing is like, don't people know that it takes like a month for you to get all of your super chats? Like YouTube only pays you after the
Once a month.
21st of the month. So like
Yeah.
if me and you were to do a stream and we're cutting out super chats, technically they don't even get put into your account till a month later. So I just always thought that was like a funny thing when people were like, oh yeah, they're going to send me that shit for tonight. And I'm like, so you're basically just paying them.
Mm-hmm.
You're just basically paying them.
Here's the other thing though too, is that's the funniest part is like, I don't even think that she realizes like how it works,
Mhm.
like there's just so many and then what's funny is like, what's like how do I say it? It's almost like, how do I explain it? Either way, like watching, for example, like Lotus, when they were going through the whole thread and like saying everything, it's always fun to watch people's first initial reactions where they're like, wait, what? Like,
what? Huh?
And it's so funny to see people who are like virgin ears to it all. And you're like, wait a minute, what? And again, because with me, I didn't know anything about her. I came into this completely blind. The only time that I got on it was when I saw that Britney got banned or Britney got suspended. And then the quartering. And I was like, what the hell? Because I'm friends with Britney. So I was like, what the hell? And that's when I got involved. And then as I started going through and peeling back the onion, I'm like, oh shit, this is abuse of power, not just censorship, But
Oh, yeah. Complete, utter, crazy censorship to the highest degree. Like, there's no way that anybody could cut it any other way. There's no way.
All of these podcasts, like that we've all been like putting out clips of, like with her and Dr. Drew, with her and Mike Malice, with her and like all these other people, like now all of these, like, it's just the craziest part is what this woman did that's such a disservice to her now is she did everything online. Everything.
There's just everything is out there for anybody to see. And I'm the same way. Everything that I've done is like pretty much online. So I understand that there's no way for me to hide anything, and I wouldn't even fucking try. But other people, that's their like go-to. Like, It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't make any sense that she thought that she would be able to get away from any of this stuff. So, like, I think that this is a new level that I've never seen before. So I'm just hoping that there's probably going to be more Twitter spaces and stuff. I'm going to try to get into one actually, because I'm pretty sure I still can't. And that'll just be another FU.
Yeah, I thought you said yesterday that you could still get in even if you were banned.
You can. If you were locked out, yes. I don't know if you're permanently suspended. I'm going to have to try that actually. Because I've seen it where people have been on like a 7-day and still can join the link or start a space, but I haven't seen it if you're permanently suspended, if you can get in there. It makes sense that you wouldn't be able to, but I'm going to try anyway. Gonna try anyway, just to see if it'll work. Because if it does, it'll just be funny.
And so now the problem here though lies in that everyone now is going to see the video when you didn't want it to happen. And everyone's now going to know your story when you probably didn't want that to happen. And everyone's going to know that you were the one that screwed up Twitter for Elon and censoring people and with your abuse of power.
Yeah.
So, I mean, you're an advocate for what now?
Advocate for censorship, apparently.
Exactly.
Unwanted, rampant censorship on every level, which to me is just not like what we signed up for at all, and like now I'm sitting here, we're on a stream right now. There's Brittany's on another stream, I think, over with Nerdrotic right now. I think they're talking about this stuff, seeing the Lotus Eater podcast guys talking about this stuff. I think that we're in that major snowball territory where as soon as more people find out that I got nuked, it doesn't even matter if I was off, if I've been permanently suspended or whatever. Just the sheer action of it happening under Elon's Twitter, I think is going to finally, put the nail in the coffin. And even more so, like if the quartering gets banned over this thing,
then all bets are off.
Yeah, if the quartering gets banned, it's done.
Well, and here's the other thing too. A lot of people probably, if you know or you didn't know, Jeremy kind of tends to lean a little bit to the right. And the right is very much about anti-censorship. You go do that to somebody like him, and the person that did it was somebody that was over campaigning or, speaking at free Assange rallies, rallying for free speech. Oh, hi, mainstream. Hi, mainstream media.
What's up, MSM? Thanks, guys. Like they're going to be in on this now. And this is kind of like what I was trying to tell people, that we don't need, this is exactly where it didn't need to go. And it's just surprising that, every single time that there's a moment where somebody works at Twitter can make the right decision, they make the completely wrong one. And now it's really starting to seem that it's just completely encompassed in this little situation with with the Eliza. Like very clearly we could see her and Ella Irwin had, they went way back, right? And they're friends. And we know that Eliza has been dick riding on Elon Musk for longer than most of us cared about him. And now, and then on top of all of that stuff, I think that, who was it, you yesterday that was pulling up this crazy Daily Beast article?
Yes. And also the Daily Beast, because somebody reached out to me and was like, hey, it's always people that are like, hey, do I talk to the press or not? And so they reached out to me saying that the Daily Beast had asked. It was the Twitter account that has been tracking all of the accounts that have been suspended or banned. So he's got to make sure you add just one more to the list. And he's like, should I talk to them? Should I not? And I was like, if it's about this story, go for it. Like it needs to be out there. Yeah. And he's like, yeah, he's like, because they wanted my list and stuff. And I was like, yeah, go for it.
Oh, geez. Well, look at that. Thanks, Doc Matrix, for the 30 GBP. Is that Great British Pounds?
Yep, that's pounds.
That's pounds? Oh, sometimes this one time somebody put this weird little symbol in the chat, and apparently it was Jewish money, it was shekels, and I was laughing. But thank you to Doc Matrix for your generous donation to the Free Defango Fund. And obviously all of that is going to be spent on rent and treats for Lunchy. Because I'm not a 501c3 and I don't do this for free. But even though I do it for free anyway, because why not? Why not? Well, this right here with this article, like I didn't see this. I didn't even think about like looking this up. And I obviously have history with the Daily Beast. Will Summer did an article on me when they were talking about the Seth Rich conspiracy theory. And even more so, it just pisses me off that I was a source for his article. Like I was the source for his article, and he thought it would be okay to call me like a notorious internet provocateur, which I guess at this point that's true now. So he was actually spot on with what he was saying. But, like I've always been against, maybe not against, that's probably the wrong way of saying it, but I've not been happy with like the way that they've gone out and done this types of reporting. But it was a little bit weird to actually see them also speaking up about this lady and how she's kind of a menace, right? Like that's what it's basically saying. She was mean as hell when she was at Amazon, and even more crazy shit was happening when they were over at Twilio. And that's funny to me because I kind of remember working with Twilio a lot back in the day for a number of different clients. And honestly, like I was always thinking like, what the hell is going on over at this company sometimes? Like they're crazy, dude. And now I'm starting to see that, oh, well, maybe it's this same fucking lady The same lady, this same fucking lady is putting all this shit together. And then what's this right here? $5 to super chat. Farron, you mentioned on Chrissy Mayer show the dates of your upcoming work on She Who Cannot Be Questions. Can you name them again? Yes. Can you please tell everybody about your documentary?
That's actually a really good title for probably part 2. She Who Cannot Be Questioned. Yeah, so Friday is the first installment where it's really just focusing on, and here's the thing is some people might think like the first part might be, the Eliza Bleu stuff that you were looking for. That's going to come out the following week because I have a number of interviews this week of people from back home, and meaning back home like her home, that I'm working out, but I do have a couple of acquaintances that she had in the past that will be talking. So the first part really focuses on the face of human trafficking, what it is, the things that we're seeing as far as human trafficking numbers, the facts, who are the most likely to be trafficked, what it really looks like, what it is according to the the United Nations. Because what we've been hearing from all of her videos and stuff they're not factual. Well, some of them are, but then some of them it's just like, what are you saying? And for her to be, not to mention, for her to be an advocate for the NCOSC, it's like, you don't even get your facts right. So part 1 is going to be a little bit more serious, but so you can see the comparison of what victims go through, because I'm talking to people that have worked with halfway houses, people that have been trafficked, an officer who followed and went after human traffickers. So getting that whole idea of people that have actually worked with it. And then the second part will be her timeline. And then the third part will be her infiltration into Twitter and kind of the whole censorship deal and what's going on. And possibly even going into a little bit into Ella Irwin and finding out more about her, because something ain't right, something ain't right. Something is
stinky, stinky, stinky.
Stinky, stinky poo poo. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this whole thing stinks. Like, it stung to me at the very beginning because I was like, okay, maybe, we're going to get some attention and awareness onto, Eliza Bleu's very questionable history in this. But I could have never thought that it was going to kind of go this way, because this is literally the actual culture war, I think. Like, This is the internet culture finally coming good and right into the world. And then, the thing that pisses me off is that when I was watching Tim Pool, like, I was watching that show and I've been like watching it, and they're always talking about how this is the culture war and this is how they're going to want to actually, talk about these things. And then the reality comes forward that, like, when it's actually a culture war moment, but it's too close to them in some kind of way, they're not going to talk about it. And now
almost makes it seem like he's at least there, at least once a week, if not on the boardroom calls every day. Whereas he's like, oh, this is the first that I'm hearing of this. It's like, oh, so you're kind of like Jack Dorsey now. Like, you don't know shit either.
Right. It's like when Jack Dorsey went on Joe Rogan and Vijaya was saying all that stuff. Jack Dorsey's like, oh, we don't like to ban anybody. We like free speech. And
meanwhile, like,
speaking of Jack Dorsey, did you guys, I have it on some pretty dang good authority that in the Eliza story, when she talks about the San Francisco secret, it actually is referring to her meeting with Jack Dorsey at Twitter about CSAM and stuff like that. And that's coming from an individual who wants to name nameless, but it'll be pretty clear to figure out, who it is, because everybody's kind of already identified him pretty directly as being a 19-year-old that was dating her at the time. So it's a little weird that she's been that deep into Twitter since before Elon was there. She was talking to Jack Dorsey about this kind of stuff. And then when Jack Dorsey was no longer a thing, she just kind of shifted over into Elon's camp, which can be considered a good thing or a bad thing, depending on what you may seem. And Chrissy, I don't know if they have a legitimate harassment complaint, but it's Defango, and Defango was permanently suspended from Twitter for botting targeted harassment and or spam. Those are the 3 reasons that I originally got banned for, all of which were never true because I never bought it on Twitter. I definitely didn't spam on Twitter, although I did post a lot of cryptocurrency links back in the day, so that maybe that's what they were talking about. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
It's just that, they got rid of me immediately, like they could have gotten rid of me a long time ago, but they've decided that maybe they're not going to get rid of me. They decided today was the day. And I mean, it really just seems that it's almost directly coming from this Ella Irwin cat, which is very scary because that's a new level that we haven't seen before. People were tagging Vijaya Gade and saying all kinds of ill shit to her, and she wasn't taking direct action on them. And even if she did, it had to have been pretty bad. Pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty bad.
I mean, it's pretty petty. If she really did ban you just because of what you said about her, it's not a good sign for the way things are going to go at Twitter. That's just letting your emotions get the better of you. Even Vijaya didn't do that. They had like a process and they had, ideas for that. They were following some kind of rules. I mean, this just seems there's no reasoning. There's no reasoning for it.
It's crazy. If I was Trump right now, I would want to pick up this story so fast and be like, "See, that's why you got to go to Truth Social. It's going to be no censorship, none of that stuff." Because if this is how it's going to be, I mean, now granted, the story is still, like I said, it's still marinating. But oh my God, like what a time for a second type of media company to come in and just swoop everybody up.
Mm-hmm. What were you going to say, Tug?
I was going to say that, we know why they wanted you. They just looked for a reason. They found one today. They were like, yep, that's why I'm going to get you. But I think they've been targeting you for a while now. Because, again, everybody's been referencing back to you, saying this is where it started. So they put a bullseye on you, man. Yeah,
I've been sitting, watching all these videos and stuff. Every time my shit comes up, I'm like, oh, like that meme with Leo or whatever. I'm just like, oh, God. And it's every time I get a check mark for hell yeah, but then I get a check mark also for oh shit. And, I guess the oh shit finally overtook the oh yeahs on this one. So, maybe I should have messaged her. I knew as soon as I sent the tweet, I was like, yep, that's me gone right there. I bet that's me gone. And I was right. And I hate being right, but what are we going to do at this particular juncture? It's like, I don't want to have to go back and keep violating the rules and stuff. They're clearly don't care about the truth in any of these matters anymore. So it seems like it's just going to get a lot worse, man. And I just don't like it. I really don't like it. It's sad. Not the way I wanted to start 2023. No, sir.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how they react to the quarterings, his thread, considering they were starting to take down people for memes and everything else. And he starts out with the Jack Dorsey beard on her right off the bat. I've already seen people talking about, hey, I got taken for that one. So I don't.
The Eliza Murphy.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. This stuff is that what you were saying, Farron, about advocacy groups. I work in mental health, man. I work with. I work with children victims a lot in rural communities. You need to send people out, but the reality is you can't send people to specialized care that don't have money. So they come to people, that are catch-all therapists. And we'd see that. And I mean, this is damaging shit when you get down to it. I mean, for me, I did that until I burned out. I could not meet with little kids like that anymore. But you have to have an element of, you have to believe, you have to advocate for people. And man, I mean, these people make it harder for that every day. And the societal viewpoint that they're changing that. She herself is making people not want to embrace victims. And on top of that, they're using the very tools that she's supposed to be hyping, to help protect kids online. Those are being used to censor people. So it's unreal to watch. And like you said, I think it's going to get much, much worse.
Yeah, well, we now know it's going to get much worse, and we can all be happy that we're all going to have content to be making for the next 5 months, right? Is that that's I try to see the 40,000 foot view, but I'm also a big protent of fourth dimension, fifth dimension crap. Not to bring up Trump shit or whatever, because I was into that shit way before he started talking about it. But like now, every time I do something, I'm always trying to think about the future ramifications of it and trying to visualize like how I see getting to that situation. I think that's an important thing that a lot of people don't do here. So if we take that look at this, you know, like we can predict what's going to come next out of this one. So we can predict Jeremy's probably going to get suspended over his situation, and that's going to create an even bigger, you know, like censorship call that's actually going to force, you know, the mainstream media types to get engaged. And that's still technically, you know, like a goal that we need to have in all of this, because we have to get them, we have to use them, you know, like we're gonna sit here and stew on our stuff until it's, you know, good enough for them. And then once it's good enough for them, that's when it's, I think, is going to start becoming a very big problem for a guy like Elon, because this is essentially exactly what he was trying to avoid when he first started all of this stuff, right? Like this is what he was trying to get rid of. He didn't want this to happen, and now here we are. It's happening again. What are we supposed to do? I don't know.
Well, then I also think too that one of the big takeaways that was pointed out to me from, you know, social workers and other people that deal with, you know, people of survivors of human trafficking, was in her GoFundMe for her vacation, because she was working so hard, where she said, you know, oh, I have 20 cases and I took on another 60, and people message me and they're like, are you out of your mind? Like normally they're at 10 at a time, like 60 cases plus another 20 that you're taking, like that's 180, or I'm sorry, not that's 80. Like there's absolutely no way. Yeah, you would need a vacation, but also like you have to go through, and Tug, you could correct me if I'm wrong, but like a lot of this you have to get, you know, I don't know if it's, you know, certified through the state or what, but either way they tell you like how many cases you can have at a time, and the state, or, you know, or these agencies are very involved. You can't just like pick up cases, you know, and it just, people were just floored. And then that's where it's like, when you start digging, you know, and the reason why I think a lot of people weren't really turned on to her like the way that I was, where I didn't care before until she started censoring people. But you didn't like, you know, you saw her interviews and it's like, okay, whatever, you know, but she's not that, she's different looking, but she doesn't, you know, have like this really big message. Like she's actually on the Dr. Drew show, she only has like, it's only got like 5,000 views. It's not like anything groundbreaking, but you see like a lot of the things that she says, and it doesn't really, you know, seem like much. But then when you start going through all of the other different interviews, when you start finding the GoFundMes, when you start finding more videos and all this stuff, then you're starting like, you know, like that meme where you're starting to piece everything together and you're like, oh my God, this girl's totally full of shit. And that's where I think that, you know, some of the fact finders, like what we have done, you know, and I actually, on our research team, there is a guy who has contacts in one of the cities where that 19-year-old is. They're trying to hunt him down to talk to him. But there's been a number of investigative journalists that have come on this, and they're like, hey, we want to work with you. Like, hey, we'll do whatever we can to help. But I'm like, great. Like, we're all in it, which that's been the really exciting part. You know, that people are like, no, we're not standing for this. Let me help in any way that I can, you know, which has been really cool.
Yeah, you were talking about cases. The Child Welfare League, they recommend, God, I think it's no more than 15. Now, I mean, that's a perfect world. In reality, you know, you may be looking at 30 max. I mean, you're carrying a lot. Now, I mean, if you work for the state, God knows what they might try to, but this is a private organization. A private organization, they set their own rules, their own standards. And typically, like you're saying, I mean, you're talking a dozen cases is typically what you see somebody carrying in a private organization.
I'm just curious, like what she does for victim advocacy, especially considering like she's representing Andrew Tate victims supposedly at this point. And she's basically a big Twitter. She's really influential on Twitter. That's where she seems like she can make a difference. She's got the connections and everything else. You're mentioning that her Dr. Drew show wasn't even that popular. So you can see like she's got clout on Twitter. Why hasn't she said, like, there's all kinds of negative stuff about Andrew Tate, saying that he's, you know, saying he likes raping people, saying he loves choking people. She hasn't shared one video of Andrew Tate throwing himself under the bus like a lot of other people have. And I thought that's why I didn't know if that's why Brittany Venti was upset with her in the first place or not, because she's not on the Andrew Tate side. But I mean, I'm just curious, like what she does for victims.
On top of that, I thought her statement about Andrew Tate was actually it was worrisome when you look at it, because the way that she says this, she says conservatives need to denounce this guy, whatever. Okay, that's great. And then she adds in this part about you guys, you traffic in whataboutism. You bring up, Epstein. Well, what about Epstein? All these people that are speaking out. Should we make a big list of all of you folks and say that anyone that's photographed with him, you're just like an Epstein? I was like, holy crap. Like, that's not advocacy. That is a bludgeon, and that is a threat. And we know a lot of people, they'd never seen that side of Andrew Tate. They never heard the background. They just heard this newer promotional that we saw pop up in 6 months. So to go out and again threaten that bludgeon, I found that really troubling when it came up.
Mm-hmm. Well, and for those that were asking, like, or when Nathan, you're asking about the Andrew Tate victims, so she works very closely, or allegedly, with the NSCOE. Is that the right one? The right NSCOE?
Yeah, I think it's NSCOE. Yeah, here, this guy said it right here. Boli M Pix Hero. NCOSE.
Okay, that was it. Yeah. If you go to their webpage, right on the very front, are you a victim of Andrew Tate?
Yeah.
And immediately there's that. She is partnered with them, but the difference is like, for example, my friend Lynn, who is with Lynn's Warriors, she actually works alongside them. She's actually going to be here in DC too, with meeting with the NCOSC members. And here was the crazy part, because Lynn was like, yeah, what's so weird to me is if she's going out and she's like representing these people, like, what does that mean that they're doing in Washington? Like, why are they jumping on these major cases when they should be focused on like the smaller cases? Cause that's where you have more of them. And then throwing out like this, like, as she called, like this, like, survivor celebrity. And she's like, that just to me is disappointing. And that is the question of why is it, that they're throwing her out there. Now, it also could be that, she likes to weasel her way in. You saw her tweeting with Elon before, and then tweeting with Lex Friedman. And like, she just tries to tweet her way into stuff. And it could be that she tweeted them enough and said, oh, I'll go and make the statement for you guys or whatever, so she can get on the board. Who the hell knows? But either way, you do see where she worms her way into stuff. And I'd agree, Tug. I thought her statement on the whole Andrew Tate thing, she tries to come off like she's so smart, because she's been studying the law for so long. And it just didn't come out correctly at all. I mean, even Tim Pool, even when he was like, so this is criminal, and or no, something. What was the bit? He said it's not criminal, and it kind of caught her off guard. And then another guy asked her, about it, and she's like, I'm not going into that. She's just very odd.
Yeah, that's what she was. That's when they were asking her, well, is this like, a legal case? Is this going for a criminal thing? Or, is this something else? And it's weird because now that we know that Eliza was actually connected to Virginia Giuffre, the girl that was going after Epstein, that girl settled for like $2 million. She still hasn't created her, she said that she was going to create some kind of like organization to protect people, hasn't done that. And now we're finding out that Eliza was on her, like team as well, like was actually working with them for a couple of years during this. So it's not like we haven't seen where Eliza has been putting her time in to help these people. It just doesn't seem like they've actually really done anything outside of helping themselves. Right. Mm-hmm. That's the strange situation that doesn't make any sense. And then somebody in the chat asks what about Lila Milkowait? I've interviewed Lila Milkowait on my channel before when she was first going out, because I supported her in taking down this whole, Pornhub situation with the child exploitation materials and the ability to not upload, or the ability to upload videos without any age verification whatsoever, even though it's literally the freaking law that they have to have that, right? And that right there definitely pissed off a lot of sex workers and stuff with Lila, but then Lila crossed over into, working with Eliza. And now, I'm not saying that I'm getting crickets out of Lila, but Lila has definitely seems to have extricated herself from her, because Lila was actually the person that was fighting to get for the 13-year-old boy that had the CSAM on Twitter. That case was a case that Lila was doing the entire time. That was the case that she was fighting for. And as soon as she got connected with Eliza started repeating that story and making it seem like she was the one that was doing stuff about it, when essentially she never did. It was always Lila Micklethwait, and then she's just basically reparroting that story so that she can get more credibility in the eyes of the people that she's sharing things with, which is insane. Okay, it's insane. It's the same thing that we had with Elon Musk and the whole, we're going to take down the top CSAM Twitter hashtags or whatever. And then our boy Gabe Hoffman actually does an investigation with NBC News, and they find out that not only did they not take that stuff off, they didn't take it off until NBC went forward with the information saying, hey, can you guys do something about this? Because regardless if it's a bad look for Elon Musk or whatever, y'all just need to do something about this. And it was. And still to this day, I'm not getting anything from anyone that says, Gabe should get a shout out for, doing this. No, they still give all the credit to Eliza. For what? Why? Doesn't make any sense. Does not make any sense at all. At all. And it makes me sad. Really, it does. To think that things have gone this way is just beyond. It pales and beyond comparison. I can only imagine what's going to be coming up next. Let's just.
Well, you're theorizing that the quartering is going to get censored for what he just did, right? That's what you're theorizing. Yes. So if that happens, then things go to a new totally different level. I mean, what has he posted, do you think, that they would take exception to? I mean, just the picture of the meme. Are they taking down people who post memes about her, or what?
Yeah, they are. They've been taking down this meme in particular. This meme has been on thumbnails that have been censored. The two different shows that I was on, Farron Show and the show with Chrissy Mayer, both of those got deleted because they had this in it. So, coming out of the gate, Twitter. They made me delete those posts. Not from YouTube. YouTube doesn't care. YouTube don't give no shits. It's Twitter that's actually censoring the post. So, just out the gate, looking at it, what Jeremy posted, this is going to be the tweet that they're going to try to delete. And if they delete this tweet, that's going to basically nuke the rest of the entire thread, which in my experience seems to happen, because that's what happened to my thread. I had to delete two of those posts that were posted in my thread, and then just half of the thread disappeared. The posts are still out there, but it's you have to literally scroll till you get them in my timeline, which is obviously going to take you way more time than you want to try.
So what's the strategy if that happens? Because if that were to happen, if the quartering, because you got banned, so my first inclination when I see people getting banned and stuff is we should talk about it on Twitter, right? But what do you guys think the Twitter strategy should be going forward? Because Twitter's where the problem is. We got people tuned into a Twitter Spaces yesterday. I mean, it was pretty big, right? Even though some people said it was shadow banned and stuff, it still hasn't been deleted. I mean, should there be more Twitter space? Obviously, if the quartering gets banned, my first inclination would be I should probably do a Twitter Spaces, talk about this. But I don't want to get, I try to avoid getting censored as much as possible, even though I've been censored quite a bit, but not so much on Twitter. What do you guys think? I mean, am I in danger because of the thing? Is Chris, is Fair and Balanced? Is she in danger because of what she's posting?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are.
They're changing the rules every day. I mean, they're changing it every day. At first it was, hey, we're just taking down these pictures in this link. Hey, we're just taking down this kind of joke. Oh, here's a meme there. Again, the subject, they don't want it discussed. They're censoring it. They're especially taking out smaller accounts. You know, giant accounts, they put them on timeout. We'll let you delete a link, but I'm seeing perma banned smaller accounts. When I say smaller, I'm talking, you know, a few thousand followers up to that, not like the quartering side. The quartering would be a good litmus test for how far they'll go. If they'll hit him again at his size of an account, man, all bets are off. They're going to take out. I figure. I mean, I'm bracing for at least a link removal, but shit, I mean, I don't know. I don't know how this will go. That's a problem with any of this stuff. Once you have an entire platform think that this is against whatever they are doing, they don't want this happening. I mean, all bets again, everything's on the table. So yeah, I think you very well are, and Farron especially. I mean, you've got that documentary coming up. You've been talking about it, putting out everything. Chrissy Mayer too. I mean, so many people.
There's just a lot of people that are going to get, I feel like we're going to get hit for this, but seems like it's going to be limited to Twitter. Like, sure, Eliza could go and have people report videos on YouTube for privacy violations or something like that, but that's going to get really old really fast. Like, they're going to have to hire somebody to just specifically like file those complaints, because as it is right now, there's like a ton of videos. Like, every single video that I've almost seen posted to YouTube has some portion of that, you know, World Star hip hop video in it, right? So if we understand what actions she's taken on Twitter, she's pretty much got that space on lockdown. It's now going to shift over to YouTube. And that's going to be the big problem, because YouTube will keep on taking the privacy complaints. Because remember, that's just the thing that you don't even have to have a YouTube channel to do. It's basically just a form through Google's website. And if they've already had it successful once, they're just basically going to be copying and pasting the same thing for each and every single indication. And, you know, if videos start going down, or if creators start receiving those privacy complaints because they come via email, I'm pretty sure you know, all you guys have gotten one before, but whenever somebody tries to do one, you get an email sent to you from YouTube that says, hey, we've gotten a privacy complaint for this video at this time or whatever. We're going to be reviewing it for 7 days, and then we'll make a determination. So, like, that's the next thing that I think that we should be asking for different YouTube creators covering the subject. Just simply be like, hey, if you get a privacy complaint, download the video, like, immediately. Download the video, keep a copy of it, and then let everybody else know that you got a complaint. And then we need to start like actually collecting them up to see how many have happened, because clearly the guy that originally uploaded the World Star video, he hasn't spoken up about any of this stuff. It's not even certain that he actually has access to his account. It seems like, you know, it was a dead channel where he was using it and then just stopped using it and just doesn't seem to care, right? So that's what I think we should be looking for in the future, because community guideline strikes, if those start flowing to different creators over this stuff, then that's just a completely different ball game. But right now we know that they've had success with privacy complaints, but if they start having success with copyright / like, you know, community guidelines takedowns, that's going to be a different ball game, because 3 of those, you're gone. I just lost one of them. I have one on my channel right now. So think about that.
Well, then I think the other thing that's interesting too is, in all of this, not only has she changed the definition of what trafficking is, now we can lump catfishing in with it. And then the other thing too is that she's changed the definition of like copyright, where I forget the exact term that she used, but it was like non-consensual pornographic whatever. And it's one of these things where you look at it and you're just like, wait a minute. Like, again, this is a video that was out 6 years ago. You're not naked. It looks like everything you're doing is pretty consensual. And now we're having to change the title, you know, like, it's just, she's morphing definitions that's to fit her narrative of what she wants. And if Twitter is going to abide by that, you know, the rules according to Eliza Bleu, I think it's just going to turn people off. Either it's going to turn people off and people are going to stop with their Twitter blue check marks. I mean, that's the next thing that I think is coming, is that people are going to not pay for the check marks anymore.
Yeah.
That's the first thing.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I already was going to cancel mine. I talked to Defango. He says he's going to cancel. I mean, I think a lot of people, because people don't like censorship, and we're supposedly paying to not be censored, right? And Defango, did you get deleted even though you have a blue check mark?
Yeah, I got deleted even though I got a blue check mark.
Yeah, so there you go. I mean, it's like, what are you paying for if they're just going to ban people who are paying customers, over and then not even give them a reason? So, and people are going to stand up for Defango, which is great. And hopefully he gets his account back, after this is all settled. But
I'm actually going to cancel mine right now.
Are you?
Yep.
I did yesterday. I already did it.
I don't need it.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, I was here. Oh, go ahead, sorry.
Oh no, go ahead. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I've been doing. I've been looking at the algorithm and looking at what looks like suppression of this topic. So if you go in, and this is with a check mark, so verification, and with Twitter Blue on top of that. This is supposed to help you in the algorithm. So if you go in though and you look at where your metrics are right now, I'm gaining followers. There's a lot of attention on this, but the views are falling. That's very. There's not just banning people. You can overtly see that this is a censored topic. Why pay to be fucking censored?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's the truth.
And does that give people more legal kind of recourse? The fact that they are paying and they get banned? I mean, is that more reason that people could actually take something up with Twitter? I mean, is that a possible thing?
I don't know, actually. I wish it was, but I was paying for it. I actually canceled it prior to me getting suspended because I was just like, well, if they're making me delete tweets, when they made me delete tweets is when I canceled it.
Okay.
So, I mean, maybe there's some type of option that connects those two things together. I don't really know. I just know that it's not a good deal. Not a good deal for me. I mean, paying $11 for that shit because I had an iPhone kind of sucked, actually.
Yeah, they raised the price, and I was kind of like, well, and I had been search banned. And Farron, you're I can't tell, you're not exactly search banned, but you are a little bit. Like if I just type in Farron, you don't come up first, even though we follow each other. And the same thing was going on with Chrissy. She was kind of search banned. I mean, not 100%. It doesn't show up as a search ban. But it was something. I wasn't able to find you easily. And so they might. And so Tug is saying basically they're reducing exposure on tweets. It's getting high engagement, and everybody can see that. I mean, everybody who's been talking about this thing is getting more followers and stuff. I hadn't really been talking about it too much. I had Defango on before anybody, I think. Right, Defango?
Yeah, I think you were the first person to, as soon as I had it was before Brittany even talked about it, actually. So when Brittany was talking about it, I was like, dang, did she see that from Nathan or what? I was like, I don't know. But that was actually surprising. But Nathan, you've always been kind of even back in 2017, you were always one of the first people to start talking about anything ridiculous or crazy that was happening on the internet. So
yeah,
to me, it was just normal.
I follow you, so I saw you talking about it. I was like, oh, my boy Defango, he's got something going. Twitter Mojo, he's talking about something. And then when the censorship, of course, I hate censorship. I've been censored too much. Well, I had a big YouTube channel at one point, and I don't anymore because of censorship. So I hate it. And then also I've dealt with people who claim to be victims of abuse before, right? And I've seen how people attack them. And I've had Gabe Hoffman from An Open Secret attack me because he didn't think I was real enough. And so I know, his thing is to go after anybody who says they're a survivor of child abuse and attack them because he's the guy that has to, be the one always talking about it, even though he's just made he paid for one documentary and has never exposed anybody, but he likes to
What are you
call
talking
other
about?
people out.
He exposed Bryan Singer.
He didn't expose him. That is already known. He bought a documentary, put it out, and then
That's not what happened.
And then he's a hedge fund manager.
Him and the guy went to school together. He told the story of why that thing got put together.
Wow.
I know you don't like. I know you don't like him. But I guess technically you could say that he hasn't done that.
I'm pretty sure he got me banned from PayPal. I mean, he is like
Did he?
ADL. I'm pretty sure he does it to everybody. He's
Didn't
like a
do it to
little
me.
mini ADL. Well, yeah, because he likes you, Defango.
I mean, yeah, but he didn't like when I was hanging out with Ali or whatever. But I wasn't really hanging out with Ali. I was just feeding information to Ali because I know how to weaponize him or whatever. And, he was used to great effect. But, when Gabe sued him, Gabe lost, right? And I was telling Gabe, I was like, Gabe, that's not a great idea. Just leave Ali alone. Like, if you don't say anything about him, it'll all blow over. He'll stop talking about you. But he went the other way.
Yeah.
And now he's got a loss to Ali, which is, you don't want that.
Ali got in touch with me back in the day because he heard that tape of Gabe calling into my show and me having an argument with him because Gabe was threatening to sue me over an article we published. And Ali was like, "Oh, I'm going to sue Gabe Hoffman." I was like, "Do you want to be part of it?" And I was, "No, not really."
Not really.
Not really. Don't be a part of that. Yeah, no. Gabe's a good guy to have like in the background or whatever. I mean, honestly, some people dislike him or whatever for his actions, but he's been pretty nice to me. I mean, he got me some groypers, some fresh ass groyper one time when I was in Florida or whatever. We had a little dinner, sit down. It was nice. And honestly, like, he's a decent individual. He seems to have like he's got his head on straight. Obviously, this sex trafficking and stuff is not his number one thing. Like, he's like a day trader, like in finance or something like that. I don't really understand that world. So like, he could explain it to me all day and I'd be like, so you're sitting in front of your computer and looking at a screen doing what? How is that different? Hedge fund manager. There you go. That's what
manager. And he's got like an $18 million mansion in Palm Beach, West Palm Beach.
No, he sold that to Larry Ellison.
Yeah. So you can keep trusting that guy. He was short. He was short Tesla. I remember that. And I was like, oh, I agreed with him. He was short Tesla back in the day before it skyrocketed up like 10,000% or something. So he didn't make the best calls. He was known as a short trader or as a hedge fund manager. He would go on shows talking about how he was short Tesla, right? Back when, Tesla's up so much since then. It was the worst call of all time. But I actually agreed with him. I thought he should be, but
well, I mean,
that was what he was known for.
Whatever he's doing now, I mean, he's still doing the same thing. He's definitely a polarizing figure in the location. So, like, that was part of the reasoning probably why I think Eliza originally blocked him back in like September or whatever in that situation, because as soon as he was getting into that, it was around the same time I first started speaking up about it when, my last account got nuked before this one. See, it happens a lot, guys. Okay. You got to keep up. So like when Gabe was bringing that part up, you got to remember Eliza was also like pussyfooting around with all the QAnon types, and the QAnon types, when they get into the, they hear sex trafficking and they're all about it. All right. Because that's how they've been programmed or whatever. They don't know that, but they should by now. So like, they started automatically glomming into her like entire story. And it was mainly because like, they went after sex trafficking stuff, and anybody that was an advocate or survivor, like they're programmed to retweet that stuff. This is good thing,
Well, did you ever see the tweet from Amanda, her manager, where she's like, oh, they're so easy to, basically brainwash or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I haven't seen that.
I don't want to cut out here or feel like I got to cut out, but I have a show that I got to prep for at 5
no worries.
with Hardlens Media. So we'll be talking about this and all of that. But shout out to all of you guys. Keep digging for truth. Keep up the
Thanks for coming on my spaces yesterday. I appreciate it.
Oh, and that nice. Great for coming on today. So, all right, gentlemen, I'll see you soon.
Thank you. Later. Yeah, pretty crazy, actually. Pretty crazy. And then we got this that umbrella guy, aka was it Tug is what people call you?
Yeah.
And then are you like a chef? Did you go to
I'm eating a little Twitter, if you notice that. Spicy.
Oh, okay. I was like looking at that thing.
That.
Yeah, I see the spicy now that you said that. My brain recognizes that, and I was like, what is happening right now? You know, like this thing I feel like is really extending across like a lot of barriers too. Like this is a situation that doesn't seem to have a side, right? Like most people just see the censorship angle of it and then they're going forward. So like I've been seeing a lot of creators that I thought that I'd never see together, you know, sitting in the same places talking about the same thing. So to me, it's a great culture moment, right? That we can actually all, you know, collectively experience this thing. You know, it sucks that I get suspended over it, but then again, I mean, who else? If they weren't going to start with me, then who else, right? You know, if you want to nip it in the bud, you got to go after the alleged source.
It's an interesting. Oh, sorry. You go ahead, Defango.
I was just to say, I just thought about it. I wonder if they banned that sexy Sky Rose person or the other two people that I had linked in there. I wonder.
I was going to say, this is one of those topics where this is the thing, what you were just talking about is her glomming on or deciding to take advantage of people who are really interested in child abuse stuff. And that's, I guess, I mean, so there's two big topics here. There's censorship and there's child abuse stuff. And I know from having covered child abuse stuff in the past that it is a topic people are really interested in. And yes, they some of those people can be probably easily manipulated, and a lot of like QAnon was, you know, QAnon is adjacent to any discussion about child abuse, basically. And those people, anybody who believes QAnon obviously is easily manipulated at this point, right? So the fact is she even talked about it in an interview, how somebody else made it cool to be a survivor of abuse, right? And she was like, oh, you made it cool to be a survivor. So then that made a lane for me to come in. And that's just what it feels like. Is she was like, she saw this thing where it's like, which I saw because I've talked about the subject before, and I see the interest in the subject and how people get. And so she saw the same thing. It was like, oh, here's an opportunity for me to, you know, give myself credentials, basically, which is that I am a survivor of trafficking. And then she was able to ride that to some kind of fame, basically. I mean, somehow got Elon to see her, and then, but people hate that. I mean, the only thing is like people get really, really wound up about child abuse stuff. And so she's got to be getting all kinds of people going after her now. I mean, you heard the people who came in the spaces. One person was like crying, you know, as a survivor of abuse. I mean, people take it seriously. And that's why I got into the thing. It's like, I know there are people that just want to destroy her, you know, completely. There are some people that don't, that just want to see her called out, but there are people that just want her like obliterated from the face of the earth for what she's done. And that's what happens when you fuck around with this topic, you know, is people get really, really emotional about it.
Yeah, I was trying to bring those people up that had been messaging me so that, like, you know, people could hear what they were saying. You know, I was like trying to like get enough people, because in those spaces you can only have a certain amount of people talking at once. So like I would try to bring one up, let them talk, tell their story, and then, you know, bring them down so I could get another person in. Because at one point there was like 9 different requests of people that we had stayed, you know, like ready to go, staged up, that wanted to get in. So I kept on, you know, we had 4 spaces for, I think we were using for the main people in the space. And then we had like, basically, I think it's like 4 to 8 more slots. So I kept on trying to pull people in. And if they weren't raising their hands or, you know, saying anything, you know, I was just trying to move them down so we could get another person in to ask, you know, like ask another question, say something else. And that's something that I figured, you know, you would probably start to figure out, because it seems like that's how most of the other spaces work in itself. You know, it's not like people are trying to be mean to you or say, oh, we don't want to hear from you anymore. Exactly. It's just that, there's limited space to get people up, and a lot of people wanted to talk, right? Like, it was actually super surprising. I think at one point I saw like 609 people in that thing, and that's huge.
Yeah, we had over 600
And
people after
what about
Viva
Vegan Mikey? Yeah, after Viva came in, but somebody's been throwing this in the chat, wanting to ask you about Vegan Mikey.
Yeah, that's a good story. So Vegan Mikey claimed to be a survivor of ritual abuse. So he had two different stories. One was, as a child, he was trafficked in the Phoenix area and was the survivor of like, horrific things like that one you've heard other survivors of that say, like the hunting thing. He said he was involved in a situation where people were literally hunting kids and killing them. So he had a crazy story. And then he claimed that Voodoo Donuts was involved in child trafficking. So anyway, he told me, there's the guy right on the screen. So that's Vegan Mikey. He came across very intelligent, seemed to have like memory of everything, seemed to be on his story, so I did some background with him where he told me about it. I'd heard some stuff about Voodoo Donuts before. Voodoo Donuts, it's basically like a satanic donut shop, right? Not even joking about it. Like, they do Satan themed donuts, right? And cock and balls donuts, and they have like a pedo swirl as their logo and stuff. So it's kind of an easy target in that sense. But anyway, I had him on. It was a big story, and it became a big deal. Then Open Secret, I think, started attacking him, and then he didn't really do any other interviews. And then it ended up like he had a drug problem, and he had lied about one aspect of his background, which was that he had been arrested before for like a domestic incident where he like threw his phone at his girlfriend or something. And he had lied to me about that. So I stopped talking to him, and he disappeared. He seemed to have like a really serious drug problem, basically, in the end. And he was totally unreliable and impossible to work with. And my opinion is that he was actually telling the truth, but I can't like say I know for 100% because he's unreliable. He lied about something else. So, but yeah, I had him on. That was a thing.
Yeah, no, that's the thing. I wanted to at least have somebody bring it up because you do have experience, like digging into these stories. And I'm not saying that Eliza's story is exactly the same or similar, but there are elements of it that kind of give people backstory as to where we're coming from, where you're coming from, because like you covered Vegan Mikey's story when he came to me, like I tried to talk about it, but it was more or less like I didn't believe him at all because it just seemed too wild and crazy. And there had been a rash during that time, right? Like a couple years, 5 years ago, where there was a lot of survivors like that Becky Percy person, the Fiona Barnett person, and most of them were centered around like satanic ritual style abuse. And now it's like we're seeing almost the same kind of operation. Only thing is that the satanic part of it has basically just been removed, and now we're focused on this other thing which is, I guess, like just kind of focusing on, oh, well, it was about her being abused and she was trafficked at this time and then trafficked again, but then maybe she was actually, a prostitute. I don't know. Wish I could get some answers on it. And essentially now, like, people have completely, escaped that plot story and have now, most people are entering in on the censorship aspect and angle of it. And now we're seeing that the original thing that started the whole situation, my thread apparently that got the traction that actually got got people to, finally start speaking up. I wasn't the first person to speak out, very clearly. There was that sexy Alice Rose person who hasn't been banned yet, and then there was this other person that was trying to connect her to Putin, and then there was the Gabe Hoffmans, and then I'm sure there's other accounts that were probably speaking out that got nuked or something. So now that's like, this entire process, we're almost at the 2-month mark, right? It's like 2 months in the cycle, and usually things either die or they get bigger, but like everybody's gotten that proverbial shot in the arm because of the censorship aspect. And I mean, I'm down like that. I know that, like, did you get censored, Tug, over this thing?
Well, I noticed something strange. So I noticed the Quartering was talking about how he had tweets just disappearing. Like if you go in, he wasn't accessing his account for sure, because he was still setting it out. You could tell that he was still setting it out. And yet, if you look at Social Blade, he had 9 tweets disappear during that time. Strange, right? So
yeah, that's weird.
I started looking through, and I shared like the red state thing. I accidentally shared it 3 times. I know I did because it was an accident and I never fixed it. I only have 1 share of that. I was like, well, where'd the other 2 go? And I haven't been banned yet, but I get the feeling that there's a lot of stuff that's just going, where's it going? I don't know. Very strange. But like I said, in the time he's setting it out, look, you can see it on the far right. You see the -1, and then you have more. So you have more disappearing. The -1 would be his initial removal. He got hit for 1. Where'd the rest of them go? What is that?
Yeah, what else did they make him delete? That doesn't make any sense.
Well,
and I mean,
he had no delete. He didn't remove any. He just said, "I've got posts missing." Apparently, he did a video on it. I have not checked that yet, but essentially, when people were breaking down, they were like, "Yeah, he's asking like, what the heck is this?" Because I do have tweets missing, and I'm setting out a ban, so I can't. You would never notice this. If you're active, you would never know, because most of the time, if you're tweeting Social Blade, I mean, it's tracking between days a lot of times. So you'll have, 10 on one day, maybe 20 pop up, and really, they're spread out a little more. But yeah, with him setting it out, it's flagrant.
Yeah, it's super flagrant. Like you can see it even like when you look at this, it's like, hey, he did 249 tweets, and then now he's at -9 tweets. Like -9 tweets? How do you make -9 tweets other than deleting them? But he can't delete tweets because he's literally banned. Unless it's like they're adding stuff in. And I mean, it's strange to me that I noticed that part of my threads were disappearing and missing. And I'm just like, okay, so, like this is obviously something that they're going to come try to nuke us over here predominantly. And we've seen this kind of thing happen before on the platform very clearly. Like this is exactly what was going on just before they started doing the censorship over like certain types of accounts. Well, they'd let the Antifa styled accounts, do whatever the hell they want. But if it was like a Q person or something like that was all about that Q stuff or whatever, they were like selectively editing and targeting those individuals. And we're seeing the same thing happening with the Eliza Bleu situation. It's just much more apparent now because like we could see the hashtags will start trending and then they disappear almost immediately, right? And then the more I'm searching, just Eliza's name, like I'm not seeing my threads come up, but then I go check the shadow ban tester and it's like, no, you're fine. You don't have any bans or anything like that. So it's like, this is more of the same, I think, in this entire space of hierarchy. And it's sad, right? Like it shouldn't be going like this. I thought we were going to be better, right? Aren't we going to be better? I wonder if Brittany had any deleted tweets. Do you think that actually happened to her too?
She mentioned it. I think I tuned in to her stream and she was going over her thing and she said there was that -1 and she didn't know that. And right, she hasn't had access to her account. So she's saying she doesn't know what got deleted either.
Yeah. It just shows 1. It shows that still shows that 1. So she hasn't, like popped off. And then I guess, when you go look at the little thing over here, you can see the -1 for tweets posted weekly which is, obvious because she's there. or it's obvious going to be happening like that, obviously. So now I guess, we got to look at who else is getting suspended and stuff like that. Because I know there was a guy, I think his name was Rourke something, Henry Rourke. I'll try to find it, but like there was a guy that was keeping a listing of everybody, and it was funny. Everybody's telling me tell him to add me to the list, and I was like, I was already on the list. He was putting just my name in there anyway because it was inevitable, and now it's happened. So,
well, congratulations anyway, Defango, for being on the money. You know what? The reason I talked to you about it is because you actually knew her. You had like a unique insight into the whole thing, having known her from way back when. Yeah. Like I certainly didn't, and most people certainly didn't. And then what the other thing is like the reason this is a popular topic, and you guys are onto something, is everybody wants to go after some of this new Twitter elite, right? And so she was part of that. Part of this new Twitter elite is like the Mario Nawfal spaces and everybody who's allowed to participate in those spaces. And that was the first time I ever heard Eliza Bleu she was on one of those,
Hey, can one of you check something for me? That Red State article that went up yesterday? I tried to access it, and it's dead linking. So I just want to make sure that I'm not doing this. There's a link to it in Google, actually, just looking at Red State Eliza Bleu. It got a lot of attention. Well, I click on it, it looks dead.
Really?
Yeah, because I was thinking, man, your thread was actually archived in their article. So.
Yep, that's what I'm getting. 404 error not found. Let's see. Let's go to the Eliza Bleu Red State thing here. Yeah, it's gone.
Oh, it's been, I'm gonna go break that real quick. I don't know why that is.
Take it down.
Yeah, go ahead. If you tweet that, I'll retweet you.
It is down, confirmed. And it's really weird. They only have Backpage, Twitter's refusal to take down child trafficking and slavery, and with Hotep Jesus. Article is down. And it's funny too because I need to charge my phone.
Hey, good to be on this panel with you. I really appreciate all the stuff you did on Johnny Depp and stuff. You really got attacked. Are you still anonymous, Tug?
I'm not anymore.
No, right? They doxed you, right?
Well, I mean, yeah. I mean, well, okay. Some people found me a while back, but it was small. Nobody ever really noticed it. But the mainstream got into being like, yo, this, that umbrella guy, he lives in Tennessee. This is all, so they really got into it. The only thing I knew I could survive it. It wasn't going to take out my day job. The only thing that I hated about it is, I work in mental health. Like when these people found it, they found an old job and they harassed the shit out of this place. They timed out they timed out their phone lines for days. And these are like suicide prevention hotlines, people calling in for crisis. They couldn't get in for days. So that was the one. I mean, out of anything, that's the one thing I hated of it.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you definitely went up against the machine on that one. And you know what? Elon Musk might have been involved in that too. I mean, what's your opinion about what Elon Musk might have had to do with like the Amber Heard trial? Do you think he was funding any of it? Do you think he's funding any of her lifestyle now? Do you think that it's the baby that she had is his? That's what I've heard.
I think the baby is, yes. I very much do think that's true. I know, well, we know I always wondered, there's always the question, if Elon Musk owned Twitter when the discussion and the before trial and then during trial, what would have happened? I think it would have banned everybody because, the ACLU stuff came up. This was always a giant red flag for me too. He's the biggest contributor to the ACLU, which some people are like, well, that's a business expense, whatever. But on top of that, he bought that ambassadorship that Amber Heard utilized to push her narrative. He bought it. It cost him around $6 million that we know of. And
really? That much?
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought it was
$6 million.
$500,000 or something. Okay.
No,
Wow.
no, he bought it just outright with that's he paid X amount and then he paid off part of what she had promised through charity. So I mean, yeah, we know too, the ACLU has confirmed many times, not calling him one of their bigger contributors, but their biggest contributor. So I mean, he is, when there's so many red flags in that. And yeah, even back when, there's some crazy stories. They're not mine to tell. So I'm hoping they come out with a lot of this, but there are some crazy Elon Musk stories about that stuff and about just blatant censorship that he was involved in. I know for a fucking fact that this isn't the first time. This is just public. Everyone that believed in him is seeing it. But
Bro,
hell.
You guys, so as you've been discussing this and that, we're looking at how far this is going, right? And the Red State article, they deleted their tweet for the status. They've deleted the article from the website, and it's just plain as day right there. Deleting articles, everything. And that's just within the last probably hour or so. And even Brittany, the person that actually wrote the article, Brutal Brittany, she still's got it retweeted right here. You see? But they've deleted their tweets and she hasn't even said anything about it online whatsoever. And it's Brutal Brittany 2 on Twitter. So obviously either they deleted it because my thread got deleted or there's something else going on. And I haven't gotten any. Yeah, they're circling wagons right now.
Yeah, well, I mean, okay, you notice either side of the political divide will have not really covered this. One side, they threw him with Elon. The other side, they're afraid to take on Listen and Believe. So you haven't had anybody. And I thought, well, Red State, there you go. The chips are starting to fall. And then, boom, it disappeared. So, again, we don't know why. I don't want to. I do want to speculate, but we don't know why.
Wow. So people have been asking me over and over and over again. So I should ask about your interactions with Monty, aka Montegraph, aka that old dude that lives in Colorado that makes lots of YouTube videos. Any comment on that gentleman? I've had history with him as well.
Have you?
Yes.
Yes, me too. Me too.
Oh yeah,
Monograph.
also him. Also this guy. Yeah, Monograph. We know who that dude is.
I know Monograph.
We've had dealings with him. Right now I feel like he's not trolling the shit out of me, so I'm okay with him right now. But
yeah, right. Like if
I don't even want to bring him up. Like that's how bad it is. I don't even want to talk about him. I just want him to leave me alone because whatever. But
I definitely
people in the chat keep pulling it up, and I'm just kind of like.
So what's going on? Is he suing you, Tug?
No, he's suing Recato Law right now.
He's suing Recato,
he threatened to sue me twice, actually.
Yeah, he's suing Recato Law.
He's in litigation with Recato Law right now. I've done 2 videos that if they would break it down with his own words. There's one piece of it that I haven't added to video yet, but yeah, it's fascinating. He's suing him essentially for making fun of him online. I mean, it's good stuff. It's going to be a fascinating lawsuit to watch.
This is like a real lawsuit, like a for real lawsuit,
legit. Legit.
God, I hate getting.
I've never seen him go that far.
Oh, well, he threatened to sue me twice. I mean, he threatened to sue me over. He was like, the Umbrella Man. I heard that he tried to call me on the phone, actually.
Really?
Yeah, he does that.
I thought he was a scammer or something though, because he blocked his number, and when he sounded really nervous, and I thought it was a scammer. I thought he was a first-time scammer, so I hung up on him, and he did like an hour and 17-minute video about how I was rude, and he was gonna sue because in the Amber Heard trial, her lawyer called me the Umbrella Man, and he's like, I own the Umbrella Man. You're not the Umbrella Man. I was like, I've never called myself that, you weirdo.
No, you're the Umbrella guy. But I could see how he would get pissed off of that, because that's like one of his really, I don't know if it's a character, but that's like his
that's right.
darker...
He has an alter ego, right? That Umbrella,
he's got
the Umbrella Man is his alter ego, right? Oh, I
Yeah,
forgot about that.
So the Umbrella Man was his alter ego, and that's like the scary one that
Right, the one that
when
kills
that guy
people. You mean?
Yeah, the one that kills people allegedly. That one.
Allegedly.
Yeah,
No,
whatever,
I
man.
didn't say
I
that,
don't know.
Monograph. I'm just kidding. I've
Yeah,
heard
no,
some people
it's
say
completely
that.
allegedly.
It's not true. It's not. It's. I don't believe it.
It's
Yes,
just
you want to
scary
put in
as hell.
allegedly. Put that in there. You know, because one of the
Scary
four
as hell.
Well, one of the 4 claims against Rekieta Law is that he made a snuff film. That's he was like, "I'm suing you over calling it a snuff film." Yeah.
So like Monograph started trolling Rekieta Law, and then Rekieta Law started going over the internet and finding the same 4 or 5 pitfalls Monograph has set up over the years for people, and then he's now in the same boat as all the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't really care. I make money every time I cover him, so I'm like, I fuck him. But I can't believe he went as far as to actually sue Rekieta Law. I mean, that was like you said, that's a brand new one to go. I mean, he sued people before. You know, there actually have been in the Wayback Machine. There's another lawsuit. In fact, that's how I think that Rekieta could defend himself against quite a bit of other things. During that trial, the person defending themselves brought up everything you've ever read on the internet. They're like, yo, Melon, all the claims about the video, everything. So I was like, how can you say like that stuff exists? It's even been brought up in your own litigation and you're going to sue over it still.
Oh man, we're so screwed. Monograph, leave us. I'm please.
No, he'll leave us alone. We're friends.
Yeah, we're fine. We're fine.
We go way back.
Maybe you guys do. I don't know. I was like trying to meet up with him and just sit down and talk. And he was like, "Dude, are you like the CIA or something?" I'm like, "Nah, dude. I'm just like, I want to see that you're an actual real person. Let's have some. Let's go to Olive Garden. We eat some breadsticks, make a video. It'll be cool. But it never happened. He's too paranoid, I think. But that's okay. That's good to know that you've actually had some history. I didn't know that was going on. But then learning that Rekieta Law is taking the brunt of all of the force right now
Yep.
makes it seem like it's okay to talk about it for a bit. Yeah, for a little bit.
Rekieta has a circle of, whoo, man. I get letters from them all the time because they're like, oh my God, you didn't put this in like your coverage of the lawsuit. Here's 62 paragraphs about why you're a scumbag. I was like, all right, thank you. Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, it's hard to cover everything all at once. I mean, I could totally understand that. For the most part, some people have some issue. But I do hear now people saying that the Daily Beast wants to cover this. Well, technically, I guess they already did, sort of. I don't know. I guess I could reach out to Will Summer.
Oh, Will Summer, my favorite.
Oh,
that guy reached out to me before. He reached out to me. He was like, "Hey, what do you know about Thomas Schoenberger?" And I was like, "Fuck you. I hate you."
Why didn't you want to talk about Thomas Schoenberger? That guy's the worst.
I'm not going to talk to the literal enemy. Like Will Summer hates me, I'm sure. So I'm not. But
why does he hate you?
Well, he hates conspiracy theorists, right? Isn't that what they do at the Daily Beast? They debunk conspiracy theories. They get people canceled from the internet and stuff. But this is in their wheelhouse to go after they cover child abuse. That's one thing they do. So this Eliza Bleu thing is in their wheelhouse. What are people saying? I mean, what's the Will Summer is on top of it or what?
No, I haven't seen any. I'm just checking one of my email boxes where he usually emails me at for whatever reason. Proton mail, nothing. So
can't believe you talked to that guy.
He's only emailed me about like QAnon stuff and Thomas Schoenberger stuff. And then he did that article on me where he called me a notorious internet provocateur. And I was just like, that's a real dick move, dude. Cause like you literally helped this guy that's stalking me stalk me more by putting out that story, even though they never even went to trial or even talked about it. Like I gave you that shit to show you how crazy that dude was. And that's what you were supposed to say, not fucking, throw me under the bus like that. That's messed up. So, I haven't, forgave him for that. But at the same time, if he's going to ask me for comment or whatever, sometimes he does on like certain things. hey, is there any new information that you see? Or if he sees me getting into little beefs, he'll follow me on like Twitter. And, you know, I'm just like, what are you doing? Will, you just over there like, I'm watching you, Defango. I might ask you for something.
Do you want me to tell him? Do you want me to tell him you got banned off Twitter and have him write about you? Because he follows me, so I can DM him.
Yeah, DM him, see if you can, or message him and be all like, I heard that the Daily Beast is looking at covering this story. Your homeboy Defango got banned again. Make sure you put again.
I'll say your homeboy. Okay, I'll say that.
Yeah, say it exactly like that. Damn, I think I've had two, maybe 3 hit pieces in the fucking Daily Beast. That's fascinating.
Yeah, like how did you've had hit pieces of the Daily Beast too?
Oh, yeah,
probably
yeah.
over the Amber Heard shit, right?
I got actually I got them way back in the day because of all the Comicsgate stuff that came up. You know, just before it was really called that. When they were making that name, you know, they stuck everyone together and they said all these people are talking about this industry. They're Comicsgate. Well, they did an overt hit piece, and I was included in there. Yeah, I may have been called a Nazi in that. I can't remember.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah,
they love calling people Nazis that aren't Nazis, bro. Although Umbrella, I mean, I guess the Umbrella thing could, I could see it maybe like really blatantly. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe more like Resident Evil type,
JFK,
like
man. It's like, hey, you remember the Umbrella? You remember that
Umbrella
guy? You know, conspiracy. I mean, you know, in Resident Evil and everything else. But they want to attach it to some newer meaning. I guess that's on the that didn't happen before the hit pieces. I don't think though. Before the Nazi one, the Depp one. I think there was a Depp one. I can't remember, man. There's been there after a while. I mean, I hope they cover something, like Eliza Bleu. I hope they cover it. They cover it well. They have the capacity to cover well if they want to.
Yeah, they do. They really do. Like, they got some good people that work for them. I mean, I give it up to like Will Summer for actually like, slogging through this stuff. And there's another guy too. What's his name? He was like big on writing about Q stuff. Although he wrote like a book, and I don't know what Mike Rothschild, I think his name was, or whatever. He doesn't write for the Daily Beast, but I feel like he's another one that will write something probably. Because he loves this kind of shit. Like that thing. He seems to write about this kind of stuff a lot. And I mean, the Q stuff has died down like pretty much to nothing. So like now, like guys like these places are looking for other stories to talk about. And anything that they can use to go after Elon Musk in some kind of weird way is, I think, going to be gold for them. Well, so I look forward to that shit.
We're seeing a lot of these scams fall apart too. I mean, look at Time's Up, dude. I mean, they had to get involved in political, all their political malfeasance, but the scam level of that thing, you heard about, Andrew Cuomo and then behind the scenes violating Listen and Believe, they were consulting, tell them how to take down people that were accusers. But what nobody covered before that was the amount of money. They were a charity, they weren't a hashtag. Time's Up was a legit charity organization, and in its first year, I think it raised $6.7 million. Well, 38% of that went into the pockets of 3 people, while only 8.5% of that went to the stated goal of their charity. So, yeah, I mean, a lot of these now they imploded. They had problems, but they rode it for a while because they raised like $24 million, but they finally imploded this week, or maybe it was last week now. So it's a lot of this stuff's falling apart. These fake advocates, you have fake companies. I mean, it's a big grift. There's a lot of money in it, and I'm glad people expose it.
Yeah, we got somebody in the chat named Ashley McMillan saying, I may know why the Red State article has been taken out, so we're all patiently awaiting this person to say why, because I want to know, dude. I don't even care if you're trolling me at this point, like any information you got for me, because now it's like, I'm not on Twitter, so like how am I supposed to like figure out? I gotta remember everybody's hashtags and shit now to look all this shit up.
Are you on Telegram? Are you on Telegram,
yeah.
Defango? Let me know how to, or I'll email you back or whatever. I can message you on. I just want a way I can DM you.
I mean, I still have my Discord or whatever, but
Discord is.
If I put that link,
Discord too.
Well, I know you could get banned from Discord, but like, I'm still wondering what could possibly happen with that. I mean, I'll put a link out there because, like, I figured now having a Discord would probably be at least an easy way to get people in because I've already had that anyway. Put a link into the chat for people if they want to join it.
I'll join your Discord so I can message you. Yeah, because I was just, as soon when you were banned, I was like, oh shit. Like Twitter, I was thinking Twitter was becoming kind of cool again because you could be like, oh, follow me on Twitter and I won't get banned, right? Because that was the problem I always had before. You tell somebody to follow you somewhere and then you might end up getting banned. But now that's not the case. So, and I'm thinking what to do. People are talking to me about doing another Twitter Spaces, which I'm certainly open to. It depends on the people joining me, but and then I don't know, like you wouldn't be allowed to come on Defango, I guess, because you'd be doing ban evasion at this point.
What, for like a space? But, I wouldn't be able to. Wouldn't be able to happen.
I don't know.
But then again, I mean, I could do it anyway and just say F the police, which is definitely what I'm going to do.
Yeah, I just, I can't, I don't want to get banned, but I do want to talk about this subject and I do want to fight against censorship no matter what.
No, you might as well, you might as well go do it. Like you might as well do a space without me. I wouldn't feel bad at all. I think it was actually serendipitous that you just, like snuck into my DMs when you did, because, like that was a signal from the universe to me that, like it's time. And, it's a decent handoff because, you're very insulated overall from all of this, right? Like if you at least keep the center of the road Tim Pool approach with the situation, but still at least add insights from your own personal history in this, you're a decent person to just be in the middle of it and to be able to manage it. You just gotta figure out how to use Twitter Spaces decent enough, and you already have at least Chrissy, Farron probably, and then there's a host of other people that are already much bigger than me, much bigger. I think some of them too, probably even bigger than you. I don't even know how big your channel is nowadays with the new one. Not talking crap or anything, just saying it's definitely. Like I was watching earlier today on Nerdrotic. Like I've been watching his show for like a long time, actually, just watching it. So like watching him actually have like Brittany Venti on earlier today and talking with her was kind of like a strange, like a little strange thing, I think, like for me seeing that, because like I haven't seen that before, right? But like it tells me that we're into that culture space or whatever, because he's like he talks about comics and stuff, right? And now he's talking to Brittany Venti about like censorship and shit. And to me, that's just like crazy how far it's taken a reach, because this used to just be something that I would watch to, get my news on, like this comic thing or that comic thing, or I mean, even the Rings of Power. Right. But, I'm one of those guys that like literally I hate watch. Can't say it's hate watch, but I watched like the Rings of Power probably like 8 times in a row or whatever, just to like try to fully grasp what the hell was going on over there. And, because I wanted to find good stuff and bad stuff. And I mean, ultimately, it's just hard to talk about. Even now, I'm just kind of like, there's some good things. There are some bad things, but overall, like, it's all pain. I feel like, those guys from Hellraiser or whatever, I don't even know, the Cenobites or whatever, they're probably like, oh, this guy, he loves pain. We want him to be one of us now. Like, get away from me. But no, I tried to love it, but I just couldn't. I really tried to love it, is what I'm going to say. But there was just nothing to love there. I think
there's always been like with Nerdrotic and stuff, we all started out in that sphere and we all branched off, but most of us are still, at least I don't want to say, internet friends, I guess is the best way to do it. We're allies in a cause, if nothing else. I mean, he goes on like Flashcast, I go over to Yellow Flashes, and I mean, like some of the platform, again, Yellow Flash is like at 400,000 1,000 subs got hit for this.
That's crazy.
I'm covered. I'm in. I mean, I can't. When I look at something like this, I've got to go in. I've got about 400,000, so we'll get some. We'll get a little bit of reach on this stuff. And
yeah, you guys are huge. We're just a little. I'm just a little tiny man. And you know what? This happens to me a lot. Like I've gotten suspended off of YouTube. I've gotten suspended off of Twitter. I've gotten suspended. I haven't actually had any issues with pretty much just any of the other platforms. Actually, Facebook, they don't give a shit. Twitch,
I got banned on Facebook.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean,
I got banned over Vic Mignogna. I was like, hey, congrats to he had a fan club called I was covering all of that stuff, and he had a fan group called the Resin Bull Rangers, and I thanked them. I was like, hey, thanks for being nice. I met you all, and they banned me over that. They banned me over the nice shit I did, not over any of the mean shit I've done.
That's messed up, dude.
Yeah,
like
that's amazing.
I haven't used Facebook a lot for anything. Like I have a Facebook, page, but I haven't really tried to post a lot of like political stuff there, specifically because I didn't want to give them that like type of data. Right. But they get it anyway, obviously, through other means, their ad like cookies and the way that their tracking pixel works or whatever. But ultimately, I think it's just kind of funny because like I've been on Twitter since 2008. Like I wrote an article for like a magazine about Twitter and how I thought it was like the future and it was cool. So it's like I've always been like a strong advocate for it. Like, and when I got banned, I think that they originally said I was botting and / spamming or whatever. And then they let me come back and then they banned me again saying that I was being hateful or something like that. And I was just kind of like, what? Like, for like tweets like 10 years ago or something like that. I don't know what you're talking about. I used to be a little bit more of a troll. But like I spent a lot of time on all these platforms and then, finally getting back to at least being able to have like, a platform on YouTube and then going to Twitter and then letting me hang out was really great. But I knew that I drew too much attention on that, Eliza Bleu thread once I started seeing Brittany, and how Brittany's going on other people's shows and then you're coming on my show. This is crazy, dude. This is nuts. I could not have expected any of this stuff to happen like this. And it's just cool, but also uncool. Uncool things are happening during cool times. And you know what? This is life, actually. If you've ever been to like a music festival or something, there's a lot of rocking good times, but sometimes shit sucks, okay? And there's really nothing that you can do to stop it. It's just called life, my friend. You can't party 24/7. Eventually, you're going to have to go to the porta potty and eventually you're going to have to use that disgusting thing. And you know what? That's going to be a shitty part of an otherwise magical experience. And that's the way I look at stuff like this. Because
dude, your banning to me was a big enough topic that I was at work. I was like, yo, I'm leaving. I'm going to go home. And I'm gonna yeah, fuck yeah. I was like, I'm going to go talk to somebody about this. This is fucked up. Because again,
fucked up.
Yeah, I mean, you keep saying, you weren't the first person. You were the first person that collectively exposed this thing. You may not have been the first person to talk about it, but you were the first person, like most of us, noticed because you put it in. There were threads. There are threads out there, but you compiled this list, and again, you had insight, also specific insight into who this person was, and you were asking the question. You framed it in a way that wasn't an attack or anything else. You were just framing it into a question of why is some of this stuff happening? What's going on? Because again, this is who that person is. And you did it months before. Oh man, all that. I'm going to call anybody out right now, but man, some of the people that I saw come after you, boy, they're eating it for this stuff too. Oh,
yeah. Well, it's like I tried not to like really talk too much shit. I'm one of those weirdos that like searches my name on Twitter because I used to have to like screenshot other things that my stalkers were saying, from my cicada days or whatever. They dislike me, so they just make up all kinds of heinous shit about me. So like I used to go search that and like screenshot it so I could like submit it for like legal paperwork because I actually filed for like restraining orders and stuff like that, which stops them from doing the shit that they normally do. And ultimately, I don't want to, talk shit about them or whatever, but it's like Twitter never backed me up during any of that stuff. They just kind of let it hang, to them. It wasn't no big deal for all that stuff to be happening. And then I always felt like I was getting censored over it, because I'd be like, dude, this is not true. Why are you guys doing this shit? Like, stop filing reports. Nothing ever, no action taken on the reports. People making fake Twitter accounts with my name on it, Defango or whatever, and posting heinous shit. They would just leave them up. I mean, you can still go right now to probably Twitter, and if you type in Defango, you'll find a bunch of evidence that there was them doing that type of shit. So it's not like I haven't experienced that stuff before. It's just that it's, for me, through experience, I've seen how just one-sided the whole entire internet sphere has been. And even now, I'm not going to like pull any punches on when I cite stuff. Even when Jeremy the Quartery got into this thing, I was still talking shit, being all like, "Call Jeremy, I know you're only getting into this because of like the Brittany Venti situation." I was like, but like, I get you're gonna milk this, like this is like what you do or whatever. It's fine, and I'm not him, so I don't have to worry about like I can't attack this in the same way that he's going to. I'm not big enough. I don't have a huge enough following to do so. I was trying to preserve my Twitter account, but I guess this morning I chose violence.
I'm wondering if they'll ban. I wonder what level they'll cut off the bans at. Like I'm sitting about 148,000 followers. I wonder if they'll ban. Again, I've seen them kick people, tell them to remove links, but I haven't seen them ban a giant account yet. Again, the quartering is going to be our litmus test, really, for how big they'll go.
Yeah. I mean, I have 9,300 followers, so I don't have a huge Twitter account, and I'm definitely not trying to get banned. But
I don't want to get banned either. But it's like it's like this. I keep coming back to this. I came back to it with her before that, Vic Mignogna, anything covered. What is the line? What aren't you willing to ignore? And I'm not willing to ignore this thing. I mean, you roll the dice every time you cover something.
Yeah,
unfortunately, we do have to lose sometimes.
Do you want to talk about it on Twitter later, Tug, or what?
I've got something I got to do, and then probably about 6, I run at 6 about 2 hours. I run a live stream myself. If you set one up in advance, or you have an idea, like I'll do my best to come on there.
All right. Sure. Yeah, I'm last time I did it, I just was like, hey, Defango, why don't we do a space about Eliza Bleu? And then people started showing up. So people are talking to me now, but everybody's got their own shows. I do a show normally on YouTube at 5 p.m., but I don't care. I would do Twitter Spaces instead, if that's the place to be. I mean, yeah. Well, the quartering's still
definitely
up,
one of the places to be. It's definitely one of the places to go for people. I mean, I hate to say that, maybe I won't be participating. Probably, maybe I gotta go reset all the phones and shit before I give that a go myself.
Well, yeah, if we let you, if we let you on the stream, that's like a sure way that they could go after,
nail me.
Or go after me or whoever's hosting you. So that's the only thing. So
yeah, just make a space eventually. I mean, you don't have to set it for any, or you could probably set it for a specific time, and then I'll tell you what, people will probably just show up. You just need to get people to retweet it. I think that's the main thing that I keep hearing, like if I'm stealing shit from other people or whatever, listening to all those Mario spaces, that's the main thing that I think was making sure that they, like, every 30 minutes or so, 15 minutes, they were just being like, hey, and make sure you guys go and you retweet this and you share this so that other people can see it. Because you got to weaponize the audience. And that's really what seems to like give them the edge a lot of the time over everyone else, is because they're just like, people are on it. Like that's the way to get the spaces massively big. So as long as you can keep harping on that, and then make sure you like limiting people, like don't, you can have people talking, but when you're bringing up guests and stuff, don't just let them sit up in the speaker positions and stuff. Like make sure you're cycling through everybody, because they can ask to come back up or whatever. But like try to grab everybody and use the hands, because everybody seems to like the hands.
Yeah,
seems
hands
to be
are
the
good.
easiest way. The
Hands
easiest
are
way to
definitely
manage
good.
it.
Yeah.
Oh, we actually got a super chat. Look at this. The Shuggy Show, that person that got the World Star email, $4.99. I don't think any of us are safe. Might post something about me getting. Might post something soon that might get me yeeted. Well, you're gonna have to decide whether you want to get yeeted or not. It's gonna be up to you if you want to post that thing or not post that thing. Partially, me getting banned is probably because I tweeted at Ella Irwin that and she got pissed and she was like, you know what? Patow!
Somebody in the chat is saying, just saying, ... says that Daily Beast reached out to Eliza less than an hour ago. So,
Ooh. Just saying. Who's just saying right here? Yeah, I don't think she's going to give him a comment, dog. I don't think that there's going to be much of a comment coming out of that one.
I keep waiting. The way, how do you see this? I guess I'll frame this as a question. How do you see this being salvaged in any way by Eliza? The only way I can see this going, the direction that, and again, this may not be right. I'm just speculating. I wonder if she's going to accuse somebody that's related to that video. She's going to be like, they're related somehow to the people I've mentioned before, my traffickers or my harassers or abusers. Because I can't see it.
Doesn't that open her up for defamation claims and stuff, though?
Very much so. But you have to be smart enough not to do that.
Right.
And it would definitely open her up. It depends on who they are. They could sue. They could be effective as a public figure. When you get into that, as we've learned from so many other cases, if the state they're in has anti-slap statutes, like Texas said about Vic Mignogna, calling him a pedophile, which again, not an abuser or anything else, just flagrantly calling him a pedophile. That was free speech. That
really,
even if it destroyed your career, that was just free speech. So they shut it down. They didn't even let it go to trial. They knocked it down as a free speech item. And there's so many other things. I don't see how this doesn't ruin her really when the story comes out. So she may roll the dice on it.
Yeah, I mean, I commented to her today. I noticed that there were people in the spaces who said that if she came clean, that they would be willing to forgive her, basically. So I think there are people who think that. Like if I were doing her crisis management, I would say, okay, time to just say you're sorry, quit the censorship, and see if you can move forward, and that's it. Like, and I think she could survive it. Some people are saying she could never survive it. But I feel like people are willing to, if she did truly say she was sorry, but I don't think she is sorry. She seems to be digging herself into I don't know how insulated she is. I don't know who she's getting advice from. I don't know if she has a team. She tweeted out something about how it's good to have good friends. And I don't know who her friends are, whether she's friends with Lex Friedman, whether Elon Musk is still talking to her, or if there's anybody else that's telling her what she should do in this situation. But she could use somebody, and frankly, like, there's reason to be concerned for her, like, mental health and stuff too. Obviously, if everybody hates her, all the comments are negative. I mean, I don't know how I would deal with it, where you tweet out something about kittens and everybody says, fuck you,
Oh, it's kind of how the world is, dog. Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm calling cap on just saying in the chat, because I don't see anything Eliza saying that the Daily Beast contacted her. So unless you're inside of her circle or her herself, I'm calling you cap, bro. Is that how it goes? Is it
slang?
Cap? No cap?
I thought it was.
I think it's some new fangs. No, that's no cap, right? No cap. Sorry.
No
cap.
No, you're calling cap. No cap would
Yeah.
mean that it was true. Cap.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I'm calling cap, bro. Sorry.
Okay, all right.
And then
Good
we got
job.
another Great British Pound super chat. Thanks for all you've done. We'll get you back, mate. And honestly, I hope you do there, Mr. Scott Chrissy Jones. It's gonna definitely be quite difficult though, unless we get somebody on the inside over at Twitter that starts, vouching for us. It's gonna be, I feel like, more of the same. Yes. Like that's just the main thing. I'm a realist, dog.
Yeah,
I'm a realist.
but then again, right? Chrissy is doing okay. Farron's doing okay. Quartering is still up. I mean,
Might just be me.
Might just be you because you sent a message to Ella and she didn't like it.
Yep, she didn't like it. I mean, I can't even. My account's completely gone though, so everything that was there be gone. But that's okay. There's already been a couple of people that have been filing. Like, I was watching people making threads over mine yesterday on both sides, by the way. Both sides. So
what's that? You saw what?
So I saw people that were pro Eliza putting threads together yesterday, and then I also saw other people that were doing threads, and then that's why I thought it was strange. Like Jeremy was started doing a thread, and then I'm like suspended. So something's going on there, right? Like people were obviously seeing the signs, feeling, like it was pretty easy to feel, what was happening or at least about to freaking happen. And that sucks, but like this is life, my friends. This is life. Not much I can do.
Well,
do about it.
People are gonna. Well, we'll see if we can get people to fight for you. What do you want? You got to get Brittany to start talking about you, and the quartering to start talking about you, and
yeah, see if they actually bring it up. That'll be a help for sure. Just getting it out there. But at the same time, it's like, like Twitter's obviously going to be a dead platform. I wanted to give it that one more good old college try for Elon's sake. And obviously I was proven right again. And I hate that, but that's okay. I knew that it was just going to be more of the same, but I wanted to see if it was actually, be there. I just never thought that I would actually become part of the center of that situation that once again gets me axed in some kind of way. It's just kind of poetic at the end of the day. It's poetic, right? I'm my own worst enemy.
Yeah.
Which is a great song, by the way.
It's not cool.
I think all of us were hoping. I think we were hoping for change. We really were. I gave credit where I thought credit was due, the unbannings of specific people. Yeah, but a lot of this stuff, I don't know, man. I didn't think this was going to. I thought there were some funny things. I loved watching the controversy pop up. Man, when Elon specific moves by him, you can tell like any direct criticism that he thinks harmful, that's going to disappear. And this is aiming right at his direct circle. So
yeah, that's the trouble with Elon is like he gets emotional about things. It's the whole reason he won't bring Alex Jones back. I mean, I can't believe that he won't bring Alex Jones back because he had a child die in his arms. And he thought Alex Jones crossed the line with Sandy Hook, but he's brought other people back for all kinds of stuff. So, it's just his personal feelings basically that manage what goes on Twitter. And it was his personal feelings are the reason he bought it in the first place. So overall, it's been better. This thing that's happening right now is really bad. I mean, is it the death of Twitter? Well, they had bad censorship before and it never died. So people are it's still going to carry on.
I don't know. I think this because with old Twitter, through the Twitter files, we found out about all the political back channeling money that's coming in. And this was a thing that never made money. So it was contingent on many other factors. Well, that's burned down. He lost all of the mainstream media news organizations on one side. any Politico that was involved in that, he lost that tie-in too, and he was pretty much reliant on people like the Quartering. 1.5 million subs, and it's not just the sub count; it's can you get people to buy a product. And the Quartering could get people to spend that $8 or that $11. He was convincing people, like, how many hits can you take before you have no viability? And I think we may see a real problem for Elon Musk out of this.
Oh, well, there you go. I think maybe calling cap was the wrong move.
Premature cap call. I was going to say it sounded plausible the whole time. So now you have proof.
Ooh.
That's all right. That's how you get people to bring you proof. Now I can't search Twitter and shit, so you guys got to do that stuff. And
no, love it. I'm taking a screenshot of your own work and we'll post it.
Look at that right there. Yeah, dude, go for it.
I am. I'm taking it right now. That's what you're supposed to do.
I mean, that's the thing is I keep telling people, I'd be like, yo, if you want somebody that's pretty good at researching and doing shit like that, hit me up. I will help out. No problem. Because that's usually what I do. And, I've got other people talking about Ian Miles Chung, like that's another person that has like started piquing people's interest. That's another guy that I've done threads on that's like lives in Malaysia, talks about American politics, is like all up in like American media, yet this dude doesn't even live here. And, he's got a long history of doing bad shit, like swatting people and doxing people. And I think one time he actually was selling influence as a moderator on Reddit, and he got banned for that too, which is like, just kind of weird. Like how there's been on the Twitter spaces a whole lot of people that all came up exactly at the same time, getting really, really influential, that were all straight up dick riding Elon Musk to the top. And, I was basically just making threads on these people, right? Like, this is who they were. So if you want to know, just like for your FYI, here you go, like, and half of them didn't block me. The other half did. Like Ian blocked me. But that's just because Ian doesn't like me. But like Mario Nefarious or whatever, Nerfall, that guy, he didn't block me because he knows that, like, that's just not going to solve anything, right? And I'm just redistributing like facts that like upper echelon and other people have already talked about in his particular situation. I'm just trying to add in a missing piece to the puzzle where Mario talks about him being a part of a situation in 2018 that went really badly. And I'm like, yes, it was called crypto celebrities, where you could buy and sell celebs that all of a sudden turned into BitClout, which is basically kind of the same idea, only extended just slightly, right? And I think people miss that particular aspect of the story. But then again, sometimes people do because, you had to be there. I was there. I almost got hosed for a bunch of money on that one, but I got out before it happened because I'm not a dummy. Sometimes.
Well, we'll try to set up a competing Twitter Spaces to the big Twitter Spaces. Maybe we'll make one. We'll be the new Mario Nawfall, but we have to get Defango back. We have to get the Defango account back because the whole MySpaces only blew up because of you, Defango, because people knew who you were. So now I have to figure out how to make it on my own in this, difficult world to
you're
navigate.
gonna be just fine. Just tell him that you're the Defango source or whatever. Why don't you be Defango?
The Defango whisperer.
Okay. Remind people to share it out too, man, because yesterday I had someone else showed me that you all were live, and I didn't know it. I got invited. I didn't know it. I still didn't know about it. I had to go and actively search it out to find it. You were indeed I don't know, shadow banned on the platform. Like I said, I could see other things going on. When I went and searched for it, because other people were saying that, I could not find the live broadcast myself.
Really?
So,
really?
Yeah.
I wonder what to do. I would normally put Eliza Bleu in the title, but if those are the keywords that get you screwed with, then I don't know what to do. People did still show up, though. People still made it. So
get people to share them, man. You get enough people to share it, you can get around that, you know.
Yeah, right. Well, maybe I'll set something up. Maybe I'll set something up for when I normally do my show, and we'll see who shows up. We'll try not to get banned. I don't see, you know, I don't know, Defango, man, you definitely got a bad rap because other people are still alive, and there's no reason for. Didn't she say that they only suspend people who know they're doing something illegal? That was part of the thread yesterday.
Or wrong or something like that. Yeah.
We only
she used the word criminal, though. I thought that was not civil cases too. She, you know, when she was bringing that up, I thought that was, you know, either a really dumb oversight or I don't know, you know, or claims are a coming. That's one or the other in that too.
Well, if they're a comment, I already put it in that Red State article that they can serve me via email or whatever, but it's fine.
So it's interesting to know. So who's behind Red State? Somebody in the chat said they're Christian. Does anybody know who owns them and why they might have been influenced to take down the article? I mean,
they also, question. I noticed something in there. I was asking this the other day. So in the archive of the article, at the top of it, I don't see this in other articles. I clicked on 3 other articles. They put in a disclaimer on this specific one anyway. It made me think maybe they were uncomfortable. They said the opinions expressed by contributors are their own, not necessarily representative of Red State. That's the only article I found that on. So, I mean, maybe they thought, well, we'll get in here, and then they were like, yeah, maybe not.
Hey, maybe not. No, we're gonna get pulled off. Well, they got pulled off pretty quickly, and you know, Republican Party. Her father is kind of high up in the Republican Party in Chicago, so it's not a stretch to say that, you know, Salem Media Group, the people that run Red State, are heavily Christian based and involved with people maybe that are connected to her father. So, you know, and that's funny too. Here, Eliza Irwin says, true, we do need an option to report ban evasion, trying to strike the balance between providing all reasons to report versus long, complicated reporting flows. We're continue to work on the reporting flow and welcome for any suggestions on what users make to think clearly. So, kind of seems like they're definitely trying to get it out there in a way. And this is pretty recent too. Like, this is a tweet from not that long ago, about 2 hours ago. So I think that there's probably going to be a lot. We do allow satire. We try to reject legal demands for removal for satirical or content. Sometimes we are successful, not always. Not everyone has a sense of humor. That's odd. Email for me for more examples. What's this right here? Algorithmically this. I share videos from different pages at the moment and I post them. I will get swapped with the warning labels, but the original videos don't. How does this make sense? Can you look into it? So there's probably a lot going on in Twitter censorship right now that I don't think that a lot of us are privy to. You know, we're seeing it from my side, but it seems like there's a lot of other really, really stranger things happening with maybe the AI or whatever else that they're using. Oh, whoa, somebody's throwing money at us. Alpha Warrior, $5 super chats says, stay in the fight. Broadcast Twitter censorship everywhere. Yeah, I agree. We should definitely keep doing that because now, you know, it's happening again to me. It's like, you know, I'm being trafficked again or something like that. You know, they don't want me speaking out about the censorship, so they get rid of me, which honestly is getting kind of freaking old, man. I'm sick and tired of this crap. You know, I try to be good.
Deserve it. You don't deserve it, Defango. So we're gonna fight for you, though. We care about you. We think you deserve the right to exist on Twitter. So we're gonna keep your name on top of Elon Musk's lips.
What the hell is that? Is that Chinese or is that Chinese or Japanese?
Is somebody leaving some in your chat or what?
I don't know. It's weird. I just was like, what? That's a different language. What's going on with that? Well, I guess like pretty much this is just going to be pretty much a problem for me moving forward. But you know what? I do have to get on and like go to get some food and stuff. And actually, I kind of got to get into work myself. So, I want to thank you, Nathan, for coming and joining us today. It's been a pleasure having you. Please make sure that you keep moving forward, do the spaces and stuff. I'm telling you, you already got everything you need to get that going. And that umbrella guy, Mr. Tug, I appreciate you coming on over here and showing support, because this shit's crazy. And having somebody like you come on over here and talk to little old me about this kind of stuff really does show me that, this is probably not going to be like last time, which makes me feel really good.
Here, I have an update from Brutal Brittany, who I believe is the author of the story on Red State.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
you can
so
drop
you want
it
me
in
to
the
share my? You want me to share?
Yeah,
my
you can
screen?
share your screen. That's fine.
Yeah, let's see.
I'll bring it up.
Okay, here. Somebody asked her what happened to the Eliza story, and she said it was unpublished. I can't speak to it further.
Oh, yep, that's confirmation right there, man. I'm telling you,
something's happening behind the scenes.
Yeah. I feel like that I think that is like you were on to, what they are. They're heavily conservative right now. I think that a lot of people behind the scenes are being warned off on that, maybe because of political connections. I mean, again, it's the silence is deafening, and some of the places, even if she was embraced in that sphere, like certain YouTubers or whatever places, that still wouldn't explain the level of it, because not everybody toes that line, not for YouTubers or anything else. It just seems bigger than that. So I wonder behind the scenes, it looks like so much more.
Yeah, dude. Like Blue Ian on says in your DM right there, lift the veil. Feels like China.
Yeah.
Feels like we're in communist motherfucking China right now. Which is crazy. I actually looked at my phone here a second ago, and I did actually receive a message from Brittany saying that, hey, could you give me a call? But I've been streaming.
That?
So
Brittany Venti?
No, Brutal Brittany. This
really?
Girl right here. So she called me about unpublishing the story. So whenever she did it, she must have called me for some reason. I'm gonna call her back though, not offline though, probably to figure out what's going on with that.
Come on, we want to hear.
Dude, I'm not gonna do that to her.
All right. Well,
she's
let
probably
me know.
gonna.
I'm in your Discord now, Defango.
Good.
So I can at least reach you and talk to you about what's going on. So, give me an update on it. I'll set up a spaces tentatively. Let's say I'll set it up for the same time I normally do my show, which is 8 p.m. Eastern time. So, I mean, I'm asking people if they're available, because if it's just me, but people are worried they're going to get banned. Blue and on saying he's worried he's going to get banned. I don't know. I mean, I don't know if people are really getting banned. You got banned because you talked to Ella.
Yeah,
but
because I tweeted at her.
I'm not banned. Quartering's not banned. So
I think that we might be fine. What's it called? Tug, do you want to shout out anything so people can find you?
No, I mean, you can just look me up. You'll find me.
Look me up. You'll find me. Just look up Umbrella Guy.
I'm good, man. I'm good. I just, like I said, I came on here to BS about this. And again, shit, I knew you had a bullseye on you, but I was like, dude, I can't believe today I mean, you didn't, of all reasons, again, you reach out to Twitter, trust and safety. Like I've said before, in the past, no matter how much censorship we saw, we didn't see that from going and criticizing the people that were attached to Twitter. This new regime, man, this is messed up.
Yeah, it's super messed up, dude. I mean, I just kind of think like there was probably a meeting somewhere at a Twitter office where they were discussing me, like pointing to computer screens, and there's pictures of my Twitter feed or whatever. And I was just like, I guess this is just how it's going to roll out for the future, man. So I guess I just go, back to work and keep my head down for a little bit, and then, like reappear when I feel the time is right. But I'm going to keep making content, obviously, on YouTube and stuff. Just going to have to figure out how we're going to get all the juicy deets from Twitter. So that's cool. So again, thank you for coming on, Mr. Umbrella Man, aka Tug, and then also Nathan. Thank you for coming and joining us, dude. Appreciate it, obviously. And
thanks, Defango.
Go do good work, son. Do work,
thanks,
sons.
Defango. We'll get you back. We'll keep your name fresh in people's minds. All right.
All right. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Well, I guess everybody have a good one. It's time to shut this thing down here. So thank you for joining us. Adios, man. Peace out. Well, guys, it's pretty much it. Make sure you guys hit that like button, subscribe, share this with your friends. Because obviously I can't do it on the only platform that we were getting any traction on, which is just kind of hilarious how the censorship really does roll forward on everybody. And, thanks again to that umbrella guy for coming onto the show and, showing support. I really do appreciate having huge creators like that come onto the stream. That's just crazy, dude. It's crazy how this is. We also had, Lift Veils, also obviously no slouch himself. It's just kind of crazy seeing him back onto the scene all of a sudden. And then, it's good to see him, trying to actually get stuff done out there. So make sure you guys, throw subs and do that thing. And obviously we'll be back probably a little bit later on tonight if we catch any updates or anything, but time to go on to the forward. And it looks like I actually might be on tonight with Brittany Venti and what's this right here? Brittany Venti and Fair and Balanced. Oh yeah, actually, looks like the next thing that we're going to be doing here, 1 second, is going to be actually over here with Fair and Balanced. And I'll just drop a link into the chat so you guys can go do whatever you want to do. But Hard Lens Media seems to have come forward, and we're going to be on their show a little bit later on tonight with Brittany Venti. So I'm sure it's going to be pretty interesting. You guys should come check that out. Also, thanks to P Dog Knight for the $5 super chat. Say, wake up, play whack-a-mole for months. And I'm like, dude, that's like $30 for a new fucking SIM card every time. But I might actually have to do that. So thank you for the $5. We'll apply that to new burner cell phones. And Alpha Warriors super chat $5. The truth always wins. Yes, we appreciate that. And yes, the truth will eventually always win out, even if it takes just a little bit of time. So now you guys have a couple of things you can go check out. I recommend you go check out our friends over at Hard Lens Media. They just went live. They're doing their show. So think about it. It's going to be super interesting. And outside of that, I guess I'm pretty much done for the night. We're done for now, I should say. We're done for now. So what are we going to play you guys off with tonight? I don't know. We could do just about anything, I guess. I should just do my old intro. Yeah, the old intro. This one, I like this one. This one's good. All right, folks. So, yeah, the stream is ending soon. We will see you guys again. Bye-bye.
Got my Glock cock, 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 got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock, got my Glock, got my Glock cock, got my Glock cock. Got my Glock cock, Gumma gumma black cut. Gumma black cut. 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 Gumma gumma black cut. Gumma black. Gumma black. Gumma black cut. Gumma black. Gumma black. Gumma black cut. Gumma black. Gumma black. Gumma black cut. Gumma black cut. On your feet, everybody.